If I cut out,
Okay.
just whatever, tell me. I'm really close to my mic.
Why don't you marry your mic? Jesus.
I've
Oh,
considered
Jesus.
it.
You have an open marriage with your wife? Is that just...
Just no. Do I wish? Also no. Does it look good on paper? Yes.
Does it look good on paper?
I mean, I paid
I
like
don't think
18
so.
grand. I paid 18 grand for that piece of paper, so like it better look good on paper.
Well, that's a
Man.
fucking ripoff.
And that's on
Yeah,
the
that's
cheap side.
about as much as a ripoff as like paying for a diploma. Like, wow, I paid all this money
That's
for a piece of paper.
that is on
What's
the
that?
cheap
What's the
side.
thing with the college dropout where the guy's like has so many degrees and he's like, you know what'll keep me warm? Those degrees,
Yeah.
right?
Oh god. How depressing is that?
Yeah. But now you're kept warm by marriage certificates. That's nice.
I don't even know where the certificate is, man.
Oh, you
Just,
Jesus, you've already lost it.
I don't care. I don't care.
I've never had sex because you know why? My degree keeps me satisfied. When a woman on the street asks me what's sexy, I say, no, I don't know what it is, but I bet I could count up all the change in your purse very fast.
Ooh. Gross. That's nasty.
That album has
You're
the best
nasty.
skits ever.
Probably the best skits. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I am ready on.
Let's rock and roll.
Okay. Just let me know you're ready. So we will record in 3, 2,
Now,
action. Darn it, Moz. Cut. I can't do this. I can't work like this.
no, you're fine.
You'll live.
Oh, I'm gonna turn down.
Why don't you file a union? You're so against it.
I got fun stuff. Oh, my union's alright. Cut that out. Cut that, please.
Your union is great. Could be better.
I mean, there was a meeting this week, and my buddy sent me video of like someone yelling at the representatives, and he
Fun.
made a lot of good points while cussing them out.
He was out of pocket, but he was a little. He
The
made points,
guy
but he was out of line. Yeah.
he didn't. He got the latter half of like the yelling, but the guy was just like, "You business reps shouldn't be asking about respect. You guys don't respect us. I've been laid off so many times and we lost our pensions. You better fucking get it together." And the guys, they're trying to diffuse it, like, "Oh, you quiet down. Oh, no, tell me to quiet down." And it just ended up like that. It was yeah. But in my mind, I'm just like, good, tell them off because these guys are gonna be the ones leading us to this new contract. So
You know who?
tell them when you freaking hate them because they deserve it if we fail.
You know who should file a union?
Amazon.
Yes, music artists who have their music on Spotify so that Spotify can pay them more. Anyway, let's talk about Spotify Wrapped.
Cut out my union talk. Hey, what's up,
No,
guys?
that's important to the conversation.
It's important to his segue. It's
True. Okay. I'm sorry, Moss. Thank you. So,
I
welcome.
forgive you.
Thank you, man. It's been a while. Welcome back to Tokyo Podfathers. I'm a ton of bacon here with Mozilla Fennekin with our intro.
What is this? Is this a Tokyo Podfathers? Welcome to a new branch of the Tokyo Podfathers where we talk about music.
There's anime music in here. Don't leave.
I guess
Don't
we never
exit.
said that Tokyo Podfathers was explicitly an anime podcast. So we're not breaking
Ever since we did the speakeasies, I think it's getting to the point where it's like, okay, you guys like anime, but like, what else are you guys are about? That's how I took it. Because I don't like having
Remember
most.
we did speakeasies. Those were fun. I kind of miss those.
No, I do miss those too. Once my setup is fixed, I'd love to get back on those. Still waiting on like the junk food cast, but
Oh my gosh, yes.
but dude, look who's speaking here. You know, it's Based Becker, the Funk Master.
The Funk Master Bex, thank you. Yeah. Hey, what's going on? You guys
So
ready to jam?
Yeah.
One,
So
two, three.
Three,
Let's-
1, 2, 3, let's go.
yeah. Shout out Chad. Shout out Chad. I still work with him. So we're at the end of the year, and obviously one of the things that was trending recently was the Spotify year-end, playlist tasting and judging of other people's music lists. I was dying the other day because I saw on my feed that there's this one girl who was editing on Photoshop her top 5 list, And I was just like, look at her trying to make it look like she's all like with good taste in music and all that stuff.
That's crazy.
But,
Wait, what did she edit? What were her what were like her original choices, and what were her like
I
choices
gotta-
she edited in?
while you guys talk, I'll look for it. Sorry, I don't have it. That all this was off the cuff. I don't have anything else prepped.
All right.
Sorry.
Is this
Why
where
didn't
is
you
this where Mose
invade
and I
this-
just talk shit about Scare the Hose?
Bacon,
Is this-
what the fuck kind of content creator are you if you're not invading a woman's personal space?
True. I should do that more often by complimenting them, saying you have nice eyes. That'll get them to like me. Gonna take off the ring here. Okay,
Bex,
so
What were you saying, Bex?
Oh, I was like, while Bacon's doing that, should we just talk shit about Scare the Hose? And that's maybe the most overrated album that's come out in the past few years.
Of the year, at least.
Never heard of
I don't
it.
actually know
Go
if
on, never heard of it.
I don't know if I'd say it's overrated. I'm just kind of like,
More like I'm
definitely
confused
listened
as
to-
to why it's loved.
I don't. That's kind of how I feel about JPEG Mafia in general.
I kind of get the JPEG Mafia thing, but I don't get Scare the Hose as much. If only because I can't understand what's being said in it because the mixing is like garbage.
I've only
I can't.
I've only heard the hose one time, so I can't say too much about it. Just that I felt that way about how I feel about JPEG Mafia's music in general, which is like, okay, this is occasionally interesting, but it jumps from idea to idea so quickly that even the parts of it that I do like just go too fast for me to really appreciate it. Like I can't savor it. And then there's like lots of filler on it. I feel it's like very
kind of agree with
unfiltered.
that.
I don't know. Maybe that's exactly why people like him. So that's why I'm just willing to say I don't get it. Not for me. I got filtered. I'm a normie. I'm
Yeah.
human scum.
I was gonna say, I feel like I get the appeal of JPEG, but like I'm not totally on board outside of a few songs that I like. Because I think his thing, and I'm no disrespect to him, I feel like the juice of his music is that it's kind of style over substance a little bit.
I feel like that's fair. Yeah.
I think I think his production at times can sound really cool. I'm like, oh, this sounds great. And then when you read his lyrics, I'm like, oh, this isn't like that different from your average rapper. Like lyrically, I've heard this before, and it's just like it actually kind of reminds me of Clipping a little bit. You're familiar with Clipping, right?
Oh, Clipping. Yes. Sorry, I spaced out for
Yes.
2 seconds.
Oh, no, it's okay. Whereas like I think the main appeal of their music is how it sounds more than like the lyrics themselves. Where I'm like, I feel like this is really average, like content wise, penmanship, just rapping capability is like, it's fine, it's serviceable, but that's never really been what like, he's like not my favorite rapper, like JPEG Mafia. He's like, oh, he makes music, but he's not like my favorite rapper per se. If I would rather go listen to like, I don't know, Kendrick Lamar or maybe like Death Grips or something. If I wanted to hear something more lyrical, I think. But he does have like a really interesting sound. It's not super like abrasive necessarily. I mean, his earlier stuff is more abrasive, but like
It's just very experimental.
it is. But yeah, I think people gravitate just, I think, to the production behind it a lot of the time. That is my takeaway. I'm sure that I'm totally shitting on JPEG Mafia by accident, but it just kind of is what it is. Let's see. Yeah, no, that's how I feel. Scare the Hose is the album collaboration that he did with Danny Brown, someone I'm familiar with.
How did you feel about Quarantra?
I actually haven't listened to it yet.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I used to be really into Danny Brown. 30, or aka Triple X, was like a big frequent listen for me in high school. Showing my age. The album came out like 10, 12 years ago, I think.
2011.
Yeah. It came out when I like junior or sophomore year for me. And I listened to that album a lot. I thought the production was great. I liked he's kind of a braggadocious rapper, but he was very funny about it. Like his one-liners were actually like pretty funny. But I did think there was a also introspective side to him. because on that album he deals with a lot of like substance abuse and all that stuff. But I have not really listened to him since Atrocity Exhibition, which came out like what 2016. I kind of fell off with him. I have not listened to what's the one that came? What's the one he dropped a couple years ago?
You know what I'm saying?
Where it's you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That I didn't listen to as much. I have not listened to what's this new one called?
Coranta.
Is it any good? Did you like it? Or...
It's okay. It kind of feels fillery almost because it's not. So, okay, my only experience with Danny Brown to this point is Atrocity Exhibition and Scaring the Host, which I only just very recently listened to. I had not heard Atrocity Exhibition until like 2 weeks ago or so. Even though I remember that album coming out and I remember everybody talking about it and saying it was like the greatest album ever. It was the greatest album since To Pimp a Butterfly 1 year before. But yeah, Quillantra is a much more like not even laid back. Like it's very introspective and kind of gloomy. But I think it has a couple of good songs. I'll just say that it has a couple of like particularly in the midsection, it has some really, really great songs. But that's about it. It's an okay album.
Okay.
Did you guys know Danny Brown had a podcast?
I am aware of that. Yes.
Everyone has a
I
podcast
have not really
nowadays.
listened to it.
That's true.
We should get Danny Brown on this podcast.
We should get Danny. Well, Danny Brown is a Twitch streamer too, if I remember correctly.
Everyone's a Twitch streamer, man.
Everyone's a Twitch streamer. Yeah.
Like some of the comedians I follow, they're like playing Call of Duty and.
Basically, you being the content is kind of a pretty easy money at this point.
Right. Like, oh, this guy does YouTube. Does he do a podcast? Oh, this guy does a podcast. Does he do YouTube? Does this guy go on Twitch? It's just, I don't know. I think that's just a lot at this point. Like, hey, look, he's like me. He plays video games. But all the stuff that you're talking about, I have not listened to at all.
Since we are talking about the hips and the hops, I would be remiss to not mention my favorite rap album of the year, which I told you about, Bex. I don't assume you've listened to it.
I haven't got around to it. It's the Red Album cover, right?
McKinley Dixon, Beloved Paradise Jazz is what it's called.
Sounds awesome. It's
a fantastic album. So I'll be the first to admit I'm not the biggest rap stan in general. So when I say that it's my favorite rap album of the decade, that's actually not necessarily a high bar because there haven't been a lot of rap albums that I've really been into.
Grain
this
of salt
decade.
Situation, right?
I guess so, but this is still like a 9 out of 10 at least for me. Like this is a really, really it's under 30 minutes, so it's actually really short, but it's very grand. Yes. Evidently, based on the title, it is jazzy, very soulful, but it's just really good, dude. And it's got like all the stuff that you would want from like people actually called this guy like a Kendrick Lamar light, almost like a wannabe Kendrick Lamar. But in this case, he really did kind of earn it with how just great everything sounds and how thoughtful his lyrics are.
So that's a compliment.
Speaking of Lamar, I guess we never got to because we never recorded an episode of last year's music. We just never had the schedules just didn't work. A pretty big album. I guess the new Kendrick Lamar album, the most recent one, came out last year.
Yeah.
And that was a whole thing. I actually only listened to it once, and I listened to it on a bus ride. And maybe that's not the most optimal place to listen to it, but if you're just staring out into the road, like for an hour, that might be. You just think about it for a while.
It's the best time to listen to music.
Yeah. It's good. It's not like the most re-listenable album. Because I think the way that some songs are structured, I'm like, I don't want to go back to that. There's that whole argument song where I'm like, oh, I'm good, bro.
Argument song?
Yeah, where there's the two people just arguing and then they end up having sex. I think that's how it goes, right?
Yeah. What? No, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn, so that's the in thing nowadays. Goodness.
Yes. I think they rap. The argument is in rapping form too.
It's very interesting. It's very.
So is this one of those talking?
It's very stage play like.
Yes, it is very stage play.
Okay, so for lack of like a reference for me, and okay, is this kind of like like R. Kelly's Trapped in a
I
Closet
was actually
thing.
going to make that comparison. I was going to say it's
Yeah.
kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah, because like where it's like there's no rhyming. There is rhyming, but it's just like I'm gonna walk over here and I throw this thing
Like
on.
here's
It's
a
like
beat in the background, but I'm going to like sing talk my way through everything. Yes.
okay, so that's what that is.
In this case, it's like rap talk my way out of everything.
It's like pillow talk, like that one.
Well,
I forgot
it's not even like pillow talk. There's like real emotion, inflected in their voice when they talk, but it just happens to be rhyming, and you're like, that's an insane performance in and of itself.
But they wrote that. They wrote it to rhyme.
Yeah, appears to be, yes, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
It's Hamilton, the musical.
It is basically like Hamilton, actually. Yeah.
You know, a funny thing is that a few years ago, when I got into clipping, since we mentioned clipping earlier, I had
Daveed Diggs, right? Yeah.
I had no idea who that guy was. I knew nothing about Daveed Diggs or anything. I just listened to clipping because, everybody talks about that they're a great hip-hop group. And I'm like, okay, I'll try this out. Especially because this was when Visions of Bodies Being Burned came out. So everybody was talking about them like they're all fresh. And I was listening. I'm like, man, this guy's like really good at the raps. How does he do it? And then I look him up and I'm like, oh, he's actually like super famous.
Oh, yeah. He has a career outside of this.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So he does other stuff other than music?
Yeah.
Who is this guy think he is? Childish Gambino?
It's funny because my older sister really loves Hamilton, but would have no idea what clipping is. My older sister, who's a massive Swiftie, would not be caught listening to clipping.
Oh boy,
I have to
Swifties.
ask, to talk about movies for a second, did your sister go see the Eras Tour movie?
She did. Well, no.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, she actually did see the movie. She saw the movie even though she also went to the concert.
Well, that sounds like a Swiftie thing.
Classic Swiftie fans.
They'll do that.
Is your sister also a Kansas City fan?
Bacon, we live in Kansas City.
I know. No, that's the joke. I know.
She has.
I know you're.
Wait,
She has a
what's
Travis
that
Kelce
meme
jersey.
with,
If you're
with the
asking, that's what you're
Joker,
asking.
Where it's like, does he know? Like,
No, I know he lives in Kansas City. It's just I know he's like the. I've been talking with him about football and all that stuff. Like, in my mind, I just know that the fact that Taylor Swift is taking over Kansas City football is like driving you nuts, dude. It's funny. It's funny.
I thought you were just doing a bit where you just didn't know. Wait,
I mean, would that have been funnier? Sorry,
that would have been funnier.
My bad. Still learning.
It's your first day.
It's my first day back.
You just moved
guys.
into a new apartment. Like you're still.
I did, dude. I have a better setup now. Check it out. It's still a mess. My other mic wasn't working, and so now I have this other mic. That's alright.
It's kind of not working, but we'll deal with it.
I'm trying.
I think you have no other options, so we'll just live. It's okay.
We out here,
We out here.
There was some Spotify rap I saw somewhere. It was like on Facebook. It was like a viral one or something. But it was like the perfect combination of my own and also my older sister's, because like the 2 through 5 were all like hardcore bands, and the number 1 was Taylor Swift. I wish I could have saved it so I could have showed my sister and been like, this is you and I put together.
Oh. I wish I had an older sister to test that, but I don't have one. Feels only child. On that depressing note, should we talk about Spotify Wrapped?
Yeah, who wants to go first?
All right. How would you describe yours, Bacon? I'm actually very curious because you said you had like some weird picks.
Yeah, see, Bex and I talk about each other's music a lot, but I actually have no idea what Bacon listens
Well, I kind
to.
of do.
So,
but, like,
okay.
I also don't know it.
So I do go. So me, like, I guess I would describe like my music taste as very kind of like moody kind of thing. A lot of the playlists I have are usually in comparison to what I'm doing in terms of my activities. So with me, like when I was training really hard before my injury, a lot of my playlists were like power metal, like Dragon Force, and then then I got into metal like Death Clock and Baby Metal and stuff like that because I needed something that was like kind of get the blood going.
I've
And then
already got a recommendation for you. I'm gonna write this down.
Thank
Oh,
you.
baby.
Please. No, I at the end of this episode, I want more Rex just to kind of broaden my horizons. Like, I found, like, well, what are those guys called? Where is it? I have it here. I freaking found Windrose, which is like the dwarvish like metal band, which is like really funny. Just stuff like that. And I have like a playlist called the Berserker playlist, where it just sounds like I'm like a Viking working out kind of deal, like that kind of stuff, right?
Mm.
And obviously a lot of anime music, a lot of playlists from like anime series I've seen. But I also got really into sea shanties at one point this year.
That was the thing that you were into in like what 2020 almost.
Yeah, and then no one followed
Yeah.
me, but I'm like, all right, I'm alone. I don't care. Because I listen to that at work when I'm feeling like kind of like burnt out and tired. Because like I always picture shanties as a way of like, all right, everyone's bored, tired, or depressed. Let's all sing together to raise our spirits. I'm all about that. But it's me singing alone to myself, which is fine. But my taste is really like emotion based. So if I'm chilling, it's a chill vibe. If I'm trying to like hype myself up, it's a hype song. If I'm trying to like turn in for the night, maybe nothing at all, or I'm just listening to like a like a Bill Burr podcast of him just ranting until I fall asleep. I obviously listen to a lot of podcasts as well, but since it's a music cast,
Well, there was also a podcast section on your Wrapped, probably.
yeah, there was, and
Mm-hmm.
probably everyone's gonna judge me on the number one most listened podcast, but that's mainly because my favorite comedians were on this podcast the most, obviously.
The Joe
Are you like a
Rogan
big Joe Rogan
experience.
guy?
No, it wasn't Joe Rogan. No.
I love that we're all thinking Joe Rogan.
I mean,
It's not.
Joe Rogan will have people that I'm like interested in listening to.
No, that's the
sometimes.
only reason I listen to Joe Rogan. I don't listen to
Yeah.
when he has like a scientist on. Like, I don't care. Joe's not gonna understand any of that garbage. Come on. It's like
I
I
like. I feel like
he's
there.
done like NDMT or something.
I wonder-
yeah, that's all it is.
I wonder if there was a time when it was like more acceptable to listen to Joe Rogan, because I several years ago he had the singer of Tool, Maynard James Keenan, on there, and I remember listening to that and thinking like, yeah, this is nice. And that was
Right.
before COVID, where everybody made
The last person I
Whatever.
really listened to, last episode of Joe Rogan I listened to is when he had Bernie Sanders on, like during the 2020 election. And I was like,
Was
oh,
that
this is
20
great. Yes.
Yeah. I remember that. I listened to like the David Goggins episode, and like just when I was like learning about him and getting into running last year. And yeah, so obviously, yeah, Joe Rogan's at the number one on my podcast. That doesn't mean I'm a Joe Rogan fan. I'm only it's because it was in
He just
cumulative of
happens
how-
to be there, and it's like, oh, he's the
Well,
host
like-
of like people you like, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, well, it the way Spotify Wrapped to like put everything together was like, here's how much time you've invested to these parts of the medium, and like Joe Rogan's episodes are like 5 hours long.
Yeah, they're
in
long as
comparison,
shit.
yeah,
They
in
just be
comparison
talking
to
about
like
shit.
my favorite podcasts, which are like Are You Garbage, Your Mom's House, Tim Dillon. Like those guys' episodes are only an hour long, and they're only weekly. Joe Rogan does a 5-hour episode 4 times a week. It's like, of course, that's going to be the highest yielding in terms of
But he
amount of
does
time
like an
listened.
episode like 4 times a week. Oh my god, this
He-
guy
he
just
does a-
fucking works.
Yeah, it's
He
his
does a
full,
lot.
I mean, that's his full-time job.
Yeah, it's
It
podcast and fighting or whatever that stuff is. But yeah, let me. Do you guys see the thing I posted in recording chat? The girl
Yes,
who
I did see that.
faked her Spotify Wrapped. Like, look how awesome!
Get out of here. Sorry, I was
Yeah.
talking to a cat.
I like your.
Was
cats,
it your
by the way.
gotcha? Was it the cat that's celebrating their gotcha day?
No, it was the other cat.
Oh, okay.
I want to say, Maz, that I appreciate the cat posts.
Thank you.
the cat posting is pretty top tier.
Yeah. Where was I? Okay, are you guys able to see this? It's all muted, obviously.
Oh, it's muted.
It's muted, dude. Shout out muted. Yeah. Let's just skip this. Yeah. You can't really hear it. It's mostly Japanese.
Where would you?
music.
Oh, I was gonna ask where you were located.
I'm in the Northwest, man. Or where was I located? Like in the Spotify?
Yeah.
I was located in Japan, dude. This is my favorite song of all time. So let me pause here, right?
Hell yeah.
Like this is my all-time favorite song for working out and feeling good. If
What's
I'm ever
this?
tired.
What's the song? Because I'm not putting this on screen.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
it's
he's
the,
streaming right now. So
Yeah, I'm serious.
I know. I'm not watching it.
Oh
Though.
yeah, it's on.
He just
It's,
refuses. He's
it's
like,
also, by the way, this is a podcast that people are listening to, so we need to know this.
I'm sorry. Well, Becker, you just assume Moss just doesn't consume my content. It's just
Exactly,
like,
yes.
I don't click on anything.
Sounds
big.
like it.
Yeah, I don't even follow his social medias. He sucks.
I don't even know this guy.
I'm just sitting here like I ain't clicking on that shit.
Yeah. It's the Promare theme by Hiroyuki Sawano.
Oh, okay.
So I don't want to be that guy, but
Yeah.
you only listen to it 94 times in the entire year. Those are rookie numbers.
So I got
That's hilarious.
Spotify.
I have something to say
I was
about that
on.
in a bit. Keep going.
The thing is, I wasn't using Spotify the entire year. I was rotating between YouTube and Spotify. Like
I do that.
That's valid.
Yeah, so Spotify is not my only source of music.
And by YouTube,
actually.
you of course mean like actual YouTube, not YouTube Music.
Correct.
YouTube Music apparently has their own Wrapped, but I'm too scared to use it. I don't want to do that.
Mine's just gonna be the same like meme videos. It was just
It would just be it would just be meme videos.
like here's your sense of humor in the form of
Or
a
it's
list.
songs from things that I can't find on Spotify. So, for instance,
True.
there's a song that I quite like from No More Heroes 2, the video game. And you can find it on Spotify, but it's region locked because I guess they don't allow it outside of like Japan. Yeah,
see.
it's fucking stupid.
So I know that's what other people said when they saw my rap. They're like, dude, 94 times is nothing. And I'm like, well, you got to pair this with like, I'm listening to it on another like app. But to put it in perspective of how much I was training, I've been on a total of like, so I listen to this obviously like off time, but this song is usually I listen to this during my long runs. I went on a long run or walk around 80 times this year, which for me is a big deal because I'm trying to get into marathon running. Usually this is like
you just had that song on repeat, or
I intentionally look forward towards the end of my run when I'm extremely tired,
Oh, you have it as like your extra boost.
Yes, that's my extra boost songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me pause here. So this is funny, right? So obviously I got into Auto because of One Piece Film Red. In the middle there, Seth Stanton Watkins, I Want to Be in the Cavalry is my number 3. So let me explain. That song is like a Civil War marching song about a cadence.
Okay, I gotta ask, which side of the Civil War is it?
Exactly. This is why this is funny. So I found this song, and I was like, "This is so catchy," and so I started listening to it on my long
Better
walks.
not Google the context.
So when I was injured and I couldn't run, this is when I was still in my cast, in my sling, right? I still went on walks, and I ended up looking for marching music, like marching. Like I was listening to Girls und Panzer soundtracks, and I was like, half of it's like marching music from other parts of the world during World War II. Sure. So I'm listening to it and I'm like marching in step because, that's the point of like marching music in the military is not because it sounds great and raises morale. It's the fact that walking, running, and marching is boring and it keeps you in step. And this came up.
It's insanely boring, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And so this song, I Want to Be in the Cavalry by Seth Stanton Watkins, it's like 2 minutes long. It's the like most catchiest thing I've ever heard. And I started listening to it consistently on my walks. And it's in my sea shanty playlist where I kind of like sing along. And basically the song below it, the Valhalla song, that was during when I was working out. So yes, I have a Civil War-esque marching song in my top 5 of this year.
But you didn't answer which side of the war. It's
so
a really important question.
All I'm saying is we're coming back, baby. Next slide.
Wait, what's coming back? The Confederacy?
Hey, I didn't say anything.
Are you telling me the South will rise again? What the fuck?
Happy birthday, America. 45k minutes. I know that's nothing.
45,000 minutes. That's okay. I mean, like,
more than
I don't know why people are saying rookie numbers. I'm just like, dude, I don't use this app 24/7.
Okay, compared to me, it's very rookie number. Compared to me or Mo's, maybe.
I have 37,000.
No kidding. Oh, here's my top album. So, you guys know I'm a huge fan. Bo Burnham is my top artist. Because I'm obviously a huge fan of his Inside special and all that stuff. But me and the wifey love listening to this on long car drives together. We sing along to all of his all of his music and stuff like that. So I love Bo Burnham's Inside album deluxe, front to back. It's hilarious,
You're
funny.
You're a top 0.5% fan. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You couldn't get enough of sexting.
I know I couldn't get enough. Which is, I listened to the whole album. I listened to the whole album all the way through. I don't know how Sexting got to the top because that's not my favorite song in that album.
I'm gonna have to like listen to a song that's a verb or something next year, like so many times that they just tell me, "Wow, you really like blank."
Sexting. Yeah, you really like butts. Yeah.
You really like Doing Your Mom by Ray William Johnson.
Stop.
I gotta cook the books.
So this makes a lot of sense. My peak listening month was August because that was the top of my injury of just like sitting around. Oh, the Longest Johns. That's the sea shanty. That's the sea shanties. Yeah, that's when I really got into it that month. I was like, oh, I like these guys. They did a One Piece song. Well, I'm very happy about. In March, Blink-182. That's accurate.
That's
That's accurate. And then I saw them a few months later. Radwimps. Yeah, this is all whatever. Auto because of One Piece film Red. And let's see if this makes sense. Okay, this is pretty spread out. Bo Burnham's at 1, Longest Johns is 2, Blink-182 is 3, which is odd to me that they're that high up. I think these are all artists that I was planning on seeing live at some point, which is why they shot up. Because they were like nearby, except for Bo Burnham, yeah. Everyone else was kind of like, oh crap, they're going to be in town, I'm going to check them out. Like I did see Radwimps sometime in June, so that was a big deal. Blah blah blah. Let's get through this. I hate these pixel art.
You could just skip it.
No, I know. I thought I'm trying to find the podcast part. Oh, it's Otto's message. I do not understand that, even though I studied Japanese for a couple months. Here we go. Yep, you guys got it right. Yeah, Joe Rogan's my top podcast.
Oh my god.
So the thing is, my favorite comedians, they have this funny episode theme called Protect Our Parks. It's with Mark Norman, Shane Gillis, and Ari Shaffir, and obviously Joe.
Pretends to understand who those are.
Well, they're just comedians, and they're like one of my favorite comedians. Those 4 people go on the Joe Rogan episode, right? And they have 9 episodes of that crew together, right? And all those episodes are like 5 to 6 hour episodes, and it's like nonstop funny comedy goodness. One episode they took shrooms and they all started freaking out, which was really funny.
They all started fucking?
No, freaking out.
Oh, you cut out. I'm sorry.
Don't use the cutout. No, shut up. I highly recommend Are You Garbage podcast if you want to find out if you yourselves are garbage. Which I'm pretty sure we all are. Yeah, Joe Rogan, yeah. I don't know why this says we're turning off the lights. Okay, I'm just gonna skip all this. That was fun, and there you go. I'll share this with you in the recording chat. So there you go. Any questions about my taste in music?
I was expecting like something just crazier almost. I feel almost a little let down. Like,
I think the thing that sticks out the most is sea shanties. I'd probably say, yeah. But like, obviously your standard Japanese music and all that stuff is on there, just not as prominent as you'd expect.
God, you fucking weeb.
Dude, I don't even watch anime anymore. I can't remember the last time I did.
Tomorrow, I totally forgot about this until like today. Tomorrow I have to go see the Boy and the Heron. And I say I have to because I bought a ticket for it like 2 weeks ago, and I forgot about it.
That's really early. I thought it was just coming out like next Friday.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I like how it's just like if you don't go, you're gonna die. It's
I'm gonna lose $20, which might as well be death.
$20?
Yeah, I'm a broke motherfucker, and it's the holidays.
Are you seeing it in like IMAX or some shit?
Yes, I actually am seeing it in IMAX.
Okay. Well, that's probably what that explains why it's $20. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
It's a lot of dollars, man.
Dollar dues.
Dollar.
Yeah, but you get to see it on the big screen.
Yeah. First time I'm gonna see a new Miyazaki movie.
Ooh. I know. Well, yeah. Possibly his last. As if
LOL.
that's, Yeah.
No, he
just like The Wind Rises.
Isn't he already working on another one?
I don't know.
Like they said, like a week after he finished this last movie, they said like, yeah, he's in the studio again. It's like, oh well.
So Miyazaki is like retiring is like when a rapper announces that they're retiring, and that never happens.
It's like when Snoop Dogg announces that he's giving up smoke.
Yes,
he's not.
That was actually the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, he'll never. Yeah, he literally can't.
He'll never.
That's his brand. It's like a really fat actor losing weight. It's like, dude, you just lost your brand.
Well, did you actually see what that was, Bacon?
What?
The Snoop Dogg giving up smoke thing?
I just saw memes about it. No, I didn't.
Yeah, so
I didn't
Snoop announced that he was giving up smoke, and he's like, "Oh, please respect my privacy." And then everyone's like, "What?" And then
are you good, bro?
And then it turns out it was a commercial for a smokeless grill.
Oh, no. Okay, that's a good mystery.
It actually was pretty funny.
No, that's a good one because
marketing 101.
Yeah, because that's how you bring attention to it. Because obviously everyone's like, "No, he's not. I gotta look at this." Oh,
I especially love it because they did it when they did, which was a couple months ago. Because if they did it in like January, everybody would have known it was a Super Bowl ad.
True,
right?
Like when they killed the Mr. Peanut guy. Everyone's just like, okay,
oh, yeah,
okay, this is
gave birth
skit.
to a little peanut instead. It was the weirdest thing ever. Yeah.
Right.
It wasn't funny. No one laughed.
It was just like, okay, gross. Why'd you have to kill him?
They really tried making a meme too. They were like, hey, get baby nut trending, and we're like, we're not posing baby nut.
Get your
Go fuck yourself.
Okay. That's disgusting.
That's too much. I don't even like Super Bowl ads.
I don't even like nuts.
I don't even like babies.
True, they're all ugly.
You
okay, I'm saying
together.
that here. The only Look, let's be honest.
I forgot that was on the soundboard.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. The only cute babies that exist are Asian babies. Moving forward.
What?
That seems oddly specific.
Sorry, Tom Segura.
You thought I was gonna just like let that one slide? Like, what do you mean, bro?
What do you mean? Maz, you said you had a rec for me. Can I hear the name, please?
Power metal. If you want power metal, and you like anime, you want Japanese music, which means that it's anime. I've got a band for you. One of my favorite Japanese metal bands.
Ashiragako?
Ashiragako is not a power metal band.
I'm just naming stuff just to catch you off guard. Go for it, please.
I didn't know what you're talking about, though.
Thank you. Tokyo Calling!
Unlucky Morpheus is the name of the band.
Morpheus as in Morbius?
No, Morpheus as in the guy.
If
Morpheus as in for the guy from the
Morbius.
Matrix.
Okay, I'm searching it.
Morpheus.
I'm saving it on Spotify now. Thank you.
Yes.
Before we leave my thing, so not to get weird. So my favorite song obviously is the Inferno song from Promare. And do you guys have any songs that sound just like that could lift my spirits when I'm extremely exhausted from like working out or running? Like I might
have a recommendation.
I need that power of like a bunch of people singing and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, I don't really have singing, but I have like, I was just thinking about this like 2 hours ago. I was listening to a movie soundtrack, and the instrumentation kind of sounds like Sawano at times.
Okay, go on.
Yes, but there's not really singing. There's just like it's just like a movie score.
Okay,
but it will pop up on the composer will pop up on my rap, so I'll talk about it a little bit more there.
And there's another song from a band I really got into this year was Man with a Mission, and they have another song called More Than Words that kind of sounds on the same level as that Inferno Promare song. So I put it in a playlist. Those two songs are in the playlist, and there are other songs that kind of fit that narrative, but don't make it. And I named the playlist Righteous Fury. That's how I feel about those songs. Anything that fits in that category, help me fill it. I know it's really hard for me to explain it. Like, I don't want to sound like an anime character and be like, the song makes me feel like this. But that's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. And I know that's
what anime character does that? Like, is that an anime character thing?
You know, like, it gives me the doki doki.
You just mean like you don't want to sound corny? Is that what you're trying to say? Is that...
I guess so. I don't know. I don't want to sound queefy. All right, just sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
All I'm saying is help me explain this thing in my chest.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for it.
Yeah, I don't really feel queefy a lot. So
okay.
I don't know what I don't know what feeling queefy is. I'll have to try it sometime and get back to you.
Shout out to Mark Norman. Okay, your turn, Becker.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen a little bit because I know Bacon probably wants to see this.
I do want to see this. If it's Freddy Goes to Hollywood, I'm be like, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sal's right.
All right. How are we? How's it looking?
I will watch the stream because I love consuming Becker's content.
Okay, so here's my Wrapped.
Ooh, feast for your ears. I remember this, dude. How do your ears looking kind of big?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. My ears stick out a lot. How my teeth stack up. It's a nice little sandwich.
Mm.
Actually, I don't know if I want to do the whole thing.
I think that's why I was awkwardly skipping all that stuff.
Yeah, I was like, okay, it's a bunch of shit. It's a white bread sandwich because I'm white. Took me places. That's nice. I listened to a lot of songs. There was one that really connected,
way more
but
than me.
yeah.
Okay, I gotta see this. Okay, romantic. Yeah, you're so romantic. I gotta see this.
My top songs.
Okay, let me hold you.
Yes. That song. So I listened to that song 755 times according to Spotify.
Oh, okay. So wait,
what?
Did you tell us why?
What's the song?
Tell me why.
It's an R&B hip hop song from like
Tell
the
me
2000s.
why ain't nothing better.
Thank you.
Right.
Ross.
So
I was
like,
waiting for that one.
It's a little embarrassing. But like I put it on like
what's more embarrassing than what I just said 5 minutes ago? Jesus.
I guess. I don't know. For me, I don't know.
Okay.
For me, it's just really pleasant to listen to, so I just kept it on at all times for like a week straight. It was just like, it's a corny song, I get it, but like it just kind of goes down super easy, super smooth, and I just kind of kept listening to it over and over again. Okay. And it just was like a good mood I was in.
I will.
So I just kept listening to it. If I like something or if I like the mood or feeling it gives me, I will just listen to it hundreds of times, just in a row. Like, I will put it on at work, and if I'm at work for 8 hours, that song is going to play for 8 hours. Like, that's just how it is. So yeah, somehow I ended up listening to it like 750 times, which is like impressive. And I want to get to like 1,000 plays next year if I can. I have to find a song that I like that I could listen to like 1,000 times, but it'd be a fun goal. So what are the other ones? Oh, Forever by Kaytramine, which is, if you didn't notice, the collaboration between Amine and Kaytranada. Amine is this Portland-based rapper, so I feel like I have to support, local artists.
Nice.
And collaborating with a producer, music guy that I've been following for a few years named Kaytranada. He does mostly like house kind of flavored instrumentation. He's got a real house bounce to his music that I quite like.
So you're on the side of like you don't really need to hear like lyrics. You just need a general vibe playing in the background.
Yes,
I remember you showed me something like this when you visited, and I completely forgot the name of it.
It was "Lady Hear Me Tonight."
Thank you. I'm gonna add that.
Yes,
thank you.
That's another song I can just listen to over and over again because it's just the vibes.
Okay. I'm making a recommendation playlist from you guys right now.
Yes. Let's see. There's a whole like set list. There's actually a little concert I want to link you that's like full of like bangers by this guy. Forever is just like this fun, upbeat, bouncy, like pop rap song that I just liked. It's just good vibes. It's good stuff. Trojan Horse by Dave and Central C. This is for every year that I do these, there's always one UK hip hop song that I really gravitate towards every year. I don't know why. There's just always one. And this happens to be the one that I like the most. So what I like about this song is it actually samples a song from the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood soundtrack.
No kidding.
Yes.
Nice.
Trisha's Lullaby.
I didn't know.
Yes, good stuff. I don't know. The song just sounds hard. Like I just like it. It's cool. I love it.
This shit hard.
Nice.
This shit, it kind of does go hard. two artists I'm not really familiar with. They just happened to make an EP this year, and I came across this song. I don't
JPEG
remember how
Mafia
I
and
came
Danny Brown.
basically.
Never heard of him.
I just kind of came across this song like maybe June or July, and I was like, oh, this goes hard. And then I learned like, oh, it samples like a song from an anime that goes hard. Cool. So I just kind of kept listening to it. But yeah, I like that song.
I want to make a playlist of all songs that have anime samples in it, because Tech Nine has one.
I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Tech Nine, support local artists.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
It made me sad that you're not into Tech Nine.
I haven't really listened to him.
Oh, well, I'm not a fan of his newer stuff. I just like his early 2000s, 2010 stuff. But yeah, moving on.
Okay.
Tech was like so big here that every time he would release an album, which was like every year actually, he would have like billboards of it all around the city.
Dude, he'd open up the Kansas City games with like the big drum, and like he'd have like a show before the game. That. Yeah. Oh, I thought.
Yeah, that's a thing.
I'm gonna see you one day doing that. That's gonna be hilarious.
I'm gonna be famous and I'll beat that drum at Arrowhead or whatever the fuck.
I thought you were gonna say I'm gonna beat those allegations. I'm like, yes, go girl.
Dude, you got it, Maz. I believe Maz.
Okay. At 4 we have "Talk to Me Nice" by Tinashe. Just an R&B song that I thought was dope. That came out this year.
She cute.
She's okay. So here's like the context behind this song. It is supposedly about. She used to be in a relationship with Ben Simmons of NBA fame.
Oh yeah.
Supposedly Ben Simmons cheated on Tinashe, and all I'm thinking is like,
okay,
why would you cheat on someone like this? Fine, I don't get it. I don't understand.
Because you're an athlete and you can have anyone you want, and you're just like,
I guess, but like
we can't understand what's in their head, man. Come on.
I choose not to because I think it's bullshit.
Maybe he sampled Fate Zero by cheating on his wife. Just like how Kiryu cheated on his wife.
He watched Fate Zero and he's like, I should cheat on my girlfriend, yeah.
Dude, it does feel great. Nice.
But if Tinashe was my girlfriend, I would simply never cheat on her. That's all I'm going to say.
Understandable.
But what do I know?
There you have it. Tinashe, please date this man.
Please call me. Let's see. So at 5, I have "Impossible" by Travis Scott, and this is a little bit of a moment of weakness for me.
Okay.
I don't listen to that much Travis Scott, not as much as I used to, and even then it wasn't that much. Ever since that whole like scandal, or that whole thing that happened a couple years ago, it's like
that's old. It's old news. He's on tour again. It's old news.
It's a whole ass thing.
Bacon. 10 people died.
Yeah, and like, is anyone else still talking about it? Because he's on tour right now, and no one's like, "Oh, we should not go."
Okay,
he's selling out. He's selling out.
That's exactly my fucking problem, though.
Okay, that's like the same problem with like Chris Brown, right? Like that's like, yeah. Okay, well,
sad, huh?
Jesus. Anyway, this song, I listened to this song because when I started listening to this song again, I was depressed. This was around October, November, so pretty recently. I was in a really down mood, and this song has such like melancholic and depressed vibes that I would just listen to it a lot. And yeah, I was just kind of drowning in my sorrow a little bit via Travis Scott of all things. Yeah, it's a little bit sad.
I'll add that to my melancholic playlist.
I guess. Let's see. Time is a construct, but we kept track anyway. That's 142,000 minutes. That's a lot. That's 99 days nonstop.
Jesus,
gosh darn
good
it.
Lord.
God,
I peaked at
my numbers are rookie.
Oh yeah, I peaked in July 2nd apparently by listening to something for 839 minutes on one day. I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's nice.
Yeah.
My top artist was FK Twigs, which, if you know me, is
normal.
not surprising. Yeah, my queen.
Is that a wreck for me, or?
It could be.
That's a good question. It could be. How do you feel about like modern pop music?
I am a novice. do not consume any modern pop.
Apparently
I'm not trying to be like, oh, I can't listen to today's music. It's just I don't search it. So if I don't search for it or I don't get a recommendation, then yeah, like there you go. That's how I feel. Just nothing.
Okay. Well, I'm a top 001% fan, which sounds insane. It's funny because I've only listened to one album of hers, but that's the only album I need from her, personally. Let's see. I spent almost 10,000 minutes with this person. That's ridiculous. Favorite song was Light Beamers. That's nice. I guess I should talk about... because it came out last year, I should talk about Capri Songs. It's maybe my favorite album of the decade so far.
Okay.
So it came at a really important time in my life. This came out like early, I think like January 2022. And by then I was still months into getting over someone. And if there's anything Capri Songs is kind of a post breakup album. So her previous album, Magdalene, was like the kind of album you listen to the day you break up with someone. It is very sad. It is really depressing. It is kind of hard to listen to. It's very good, but the mood is like too down for me. Whereas this is like I'm going to bounce back. I'm going to surround myself with people who actually love me. I'm actually going to take care of myself. I'm going to love myself. All of these things wrapped up in a very like dance poppy, fun-loving type of album. It's actually technically called a mixtape, which I thought you might like, Bacon.
I haven't heard that term in years.
But yeah, I listened to it throughout last year and this year too. It's just gotten me through a lot of hard times, and I will always, be grateful for that. I just like that album. I don't know what to say. I was thinking about going like really in depth about how it makes me feel, but I feel like I don't want to trauma dump or anything, so I'm just going to leave it at I liked it. It means a lot to me. It's a very nice album.
Nice, man.
Let's see. Top artists. So yeah, FK Twigs was like throughout the year, basically. It's mostly in April, but I listened to a lot of Linkin Park this year. I got back into Linkin Park. Yes.
Linkin Park kick? Heck yeah, dude.
Well, also is it Meteora?
Meteora.
Meteora.
Dude, best album
turned 20 this year, and I thought, why not revisit that album? And I found out it's
that happened.
Kind of a masterpiece. Like, I think it's maybe their best work.
Heck yeah.
You could argue it.
It became like my exercise or working out album. In particular, it became my running album when I was running at one point.
Nice. See, I like
easier to run.
I was gonna say I had my route planned to where like the hardest part of my route, which is like really really high up a hill, is like set to easier to run because I thought that would be funny.
Heck yeah.
But it's just before faint, so I don't like actually like give out and like faint and stuff. So
you don't literally faint.
Yes, but that album is great. It's full of bangers. The production is chef's kiss. So good on this.
Dude, I agree.
Rest in peace, Chester, obviously. Love that guy. He's the best.
R.I.P. The man.
When I was like 6, I first heard Linkin Park, and I wanted to be Chester because I saw him in videos, and he had like the spiked up blonde hair and the flame tattoos, and I'm like, that is the coolest person I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He seemed pretty nice. Seemed like a chill guy.
Always seems like the coolest dude.
He's in one of the Saw movies, right?
He is. He was in the last Saw movie until they started making more.
Yeah. Sweet.
Where he gets his back ripped off.
Torn off. Yeah. He seemed pretty down for it. He's like, "Yeah, I want to be."
He was like, it was his idea. Well, it wasn't his idea. The trap wasn't his idea.
right.
But he was like, "Yeah, I'm game for anything." So along with Meteora, I also listened to Collision Course, which is Linkin Park's collaboration with Jay-Z. So that's probably why Jay-Z is my number 3 listened to artist. If only because with association with Linkin Park.
I didn't know they had
guilty by association. Okay. You point the finger at me again.
Wait, Bacon, you didn't know about their mashup album?
No.
What?
Oh my god.
Where were you?
Where were you in the
what-
early
what-
2000s? That shit rocks.
Yeah, when you were like 8 years old.
I don't know.
You've
I
Why
never
do you
heard
know
Numb
about
and
this?
Encore together?
Are you
Oh
stupid?
my god, dude.
Dude, like, you know what I was doing? I was trying to make moves and invest in a house, like my dad was advising me to do back then. Jeez.
I love those memes where you're like, me in kindergarten when I'm trying to like invest in for my 401k or some shit.
Yeah, like I should invest in my 401k. It's like, God.
Wait,
I should
so
have
you've
known it
never
would all
heard,
go
like,
to shit after 9/11.
So you've never heard like Numb and Encore together?
I don't think so. It's not. It's
Wow.
not.
That's
It's
actually-
not registering. I don't know.
Impressive, kind of.
That is.
I can't consume everything. I hate this. I hate
You're
whatever.
not
It's like
like
you
a
ever
real
heard.
2000s
I mean, this was
kid.
this. Yeah, this
I
was like
don't-
this was such an important moment in history. Like an actual rock band collaborating with not only a rapper but Jay-Z in his prime.
like the biggest rapper at the time.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Still
will.
a
I will
mo-
say this. I'll say this. I probably did hear it, just didn't know the
You've
names.
probably heard
because
it,
I'm
you
a
just
It-
didn't
it's
realize
possible.
that was
It's
there.
possible.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Whenever I hear something, even throughout my life, I hear it and I go, "Oh, that's cool," and I don't just research who it is and stuff like that. Because in my mind, I'm like, "Oh, I'll run into it again," right? So I don't know. Maybe if I heard like the first, like the hits from that album, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I've heard this." I just never put two and two together.
Okay, you can find it on Spotify. Like they have the whole album. It's like a 20-minute album. It's just like
Nice.
Linkin Park songs mashed up with like Jay-Z songs and
Right.
vice versa. It's really great. It's
waiting for.
Numb Encore is like such a
It's a
gets me
banger.
pumped. It is so good. That whole album is actually like surprisingly, it goes down better than you expect for a mashup album of those two artists. Ah, it's great.
I feel that.
I think at one point there's like Big Pimpin' and like Line from You as a collaboration, and like, oh my god, it's so fucking dope. I love it. All right, number 4 is Keiichimine, if only because they put out an album also this year, and there's a bunch of songs that I quite like off that album, and also a bunch of songs I didn't like, so like it's hit or miss.
Okay.
So yeah, that's number 5. So number 5 is Ludwig. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's Swedish. He is a film composer, and this is how I'm going to sneak in me talking about Oppenheimer, because he did the soundtrack for the movie Oppenheimer.
Hey, let's go. Shout out Oppenheimer,
Did you see that yet, baby?
creator of anime. Well, no, yeah, I've seen Oppenheimer. Yeah,
Okay. What a
I
good
watched.
movie.
I watched Pearl Harbor first, so that I walked into the movie theater mad.
Oh, you watched the Michael Bay movie? Jesus.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Joking.
I
Comedy.
walked into the movie theater mad.
That was. Thank you. Hey, that's why I'm here.
This
Thank
is
you
like
guys.
watching
Oh,
like like Karada no Kyokai movies out of order. Just like, I'm gonna watch this.
That's a good idea. I should do that.
So Ludwig composed. He's a film composer. You've probably heard his scores in movies you didn't realize he scored. So he did like, for instance, Black Panther. He's done a lot of movies. He's collaborated on the past 2 Christopher Nolan movies, being Oppenheimer, obviously, and the one before, Tenet. I think I prefer Tenet's soundtrack. It actually sounds a bit more like a Sawano soundtrack. Like there's electronic influences. There's a little bit of like an actual like string section, but it's like meshed together like beautifully, and it goes down so well. It's
So
like nothing but bangers, actually.
What mood would you listen to this?
So Tenet, I guess I have to talk about Tenet as a movie. Tenet is like kind of a espionage secret spy movie, globetrotting, but it's about going backwards in time to like save the Earth from global warming. It's kind of insane, but I love it. So like
that
it's
sound
obviously
fake.
it's about like carrying, a lot of it's like spent like carrying out special missions, basically, right?
Okay.
And there's like intense like kind of electronic music, but it's like the kind of music you would listen to focus on something. At least that's how I interpret it. So when like I want to focus on something, or I want to do something with like the utmost care and precision, I listen to the Tenet soundtrack. Like if I need to wash my dishes, but I need to do it very carefully because I'm dealing with fine china, it's gonna have to be like the Tenet soundtrack.
Dude, you got a dishwashing playlist. That's awesome.
You guys don't have dishwashing playlists, bro? You guys need to get some.
I just
It
listen
takes
to
me
podcasts.
5 minutes to do that.
Well, like I listen to like, just whatever soundtrack I have on my playlist when I'm doing chores. I don't be like, okay, I got my vacuum playlist.
Do you guys have like
and then,
cooking music? Because I made a cooking music.
I don't
and it's
cook.
all like.
Share it with
Oh.
me. I don't.
Wait,
I'm
that's not
cooking.
true, Mose. You bought a rice cooker. Like you're cooking at this point.
Okay, here's how. Well, it definitely doesn't take enough time for me to want to put on music for it.
Heck yeah.
You
Well,
put
unless
the
you wanna,
you
like,
put the
cook
rice in
bacon or
the bowl and
something,
then
like-
turn the machine on, and then I come back 20 minutes
Fry a couple
later.
eggs, get some bacon. Like yeah, you
Dude.
could be doing that for a little while.
Put
yeah.
the lime in the coconut and then you drink
Drink
it
it all
all
up,
up.
That was a great joke, actually.
That's a really good joke.
Thank you. I'll be here till Thursday.
Oh my god.
What's going on Thursday?
That's the point of the joke.
Oh,
It's just.
I ruined
You know how
it.
you-
All right, move on.
Okay.
Okay, I'll explain to you later. It's just. Damn it. Thought you get it.
Yeah. But I like having music to do certain tasks too.
Same.
It just like it helps me focus. Yes, I like this guy's work. It's good stuff. Bacon, I'm gonna link you the soundtrack to Tenet after this. Maybe I'll link it to you now.
No, link everything now because I'm gonna forget. But I'll link me your cooking playlist. I'm cooking steaks tonight.
It's a private playlist.
Yeah, no
It's
girls
called Let 'Em
allowed.
Cook. No girls, no boys allowed.
No girls allowed in the what the fucking song?
What's the? Oh, you know. Okay, we're referencing the same thing. That's good.
I love
No boys
references.
allowed. No boys
No
allowed.
boys allowed. You know, I had a chance to see Mark in concert this
That's
year.
who it was. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you told me
Mark
about
Riviere.
that.
Yes. Oh man, I really wish I could see him in concert. We should talk about concerts this year at some point.
I will have to because it'll tie into my Spotify Wrapped a bit.
Oh hell yeah!
Mm.
All right. So here's the Tenet soundtrack. It's good, like hour 15. Good stuff. Okay, what's the next one? My top artists. There we go. Those are my people. There's someone. Oh, I got a little message from Mike Shinoda, Linkin Park, which was nice. I thought that was sweet. Did I wish it was FK Twigs? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
that would have been nice. But she's kind of elusive, so that's cool. My top podcast, Playing Check with Griffin and David, of course. It's mostly movie podcasts because, unsurprisingly, I just listen to movie podcasts.
Sweet.
Cinema for real.
Cinema for real. Turn off the lights. Don't care. Don't need any of that shit. Okay.
Turn off the
Anyway.
lights.
Let's see. Share my screen. Stop streaming. Okay. Yeah, that was my Spotify Wrapped.
See, that's so
Wrap
much.
that shit
That's
up.
so much more sophisticated than mine.
I guess I'm not listening to sea shanties. That sounds sophisticated as hell. That's some bougie shit.
You see, I'm all about raising my spirits.
Because I associate that with like owning a boat, which feels bougie, right? Because like
True.
I don't own a boat.
True.
I don't even own a car. Like
Aren't you getting your license? When's that coming?
I was actually looking at buying a car today.
Ooh,
if I'm being honest.
congrats.
Didn't go through with it because the car was kind of a piece of shit for its
Feels
price.
bad.
Oh, were you looking on like Facebook Marketplace?
I was actually like looking at it in person. Yeah, it was a coworker selling their late
Sweet.
mother's car.
Ah,
Yeah.
I see. Well, that's not
Yes.
so shady.
Yeah, no, she's really nice, but like, I had my dad come out, and he's more of a car expert than I am. So like,
Oh, for sure. Like, it doesn't hurt to have
had-
someone be like, "Hey, like,
right? I was like,
let's-
okay,
Yeah,
500.
absolutely.
But he was telling me like, the repairs that you'd have to do would be like cost upwards of like $900 or $1,000,
ooh,
and that's after paying for the car. So I'm like, I probably don't want to do that. Probably just get something in better shape.
fair enough."
So we were talking about what were we talking about? Music.
Music.
Maz is next. Let's hear it.
Oh, Moss.
Okay, so I'm not sharing my Spotify Wrapped in its entirety because I don't feel like setting
Okay.
up the thing for it. It is very interesting though, because
I'm listening. I'm listening.
for the first time ever, for the first time in Seattle Kraken history, my
Oh, that's where I'm at.
my top 5 songs were all one artist. I had a sweep. And
No way.
and it's funny because my top song was only listened to 92 times. So I don't know how that happened, but it doesn't surprise me whatsoever. At the very beginning of the year, it was actually like late last year. All right, so the band itself is Millie, Mili. They are an anime-ish art pop band. Just talking about them in general is difficult because they're like so interesting and unique. Like the singer of the band is Chinese Canadian, who then moved to Japan, so she speaks 3 languages. She speaks Chinese, Japanese, and Canadian. And they are most famous for doing the OP for Goblin Slayer, which I remember at the time. I remember at the time I didn't
Greatest anime of all time?
I
What?
didn't like. I didn't like this
that's
OP
fine.
very much. So then very late last year, there's kind of like this game that we have on it's the refugee server that I showed you, Bex. We have this thing every month where it's called Refu DJ, and we submit songs anonymously based on a various theme. They actually just started one today. It's closing tracks. So submit Kendrick Lamar's Mortal Man and you'll win instantly. Because that's obviously the best possible one. Anyway, so this time last year, the theme was songs with non-letter symbols in them. So Jag, our friend on our Discord server, submitted a Millie song called World Execute Me, which is written in a line of code, like world.execute parentheses me semicolon. So I heard this, and I'm like, oh, this is the band that did the Goblin Slayer OP. That wasn't a very good OP. And instantly I'm like, oh my god, this is the coolest song I've ever heard in my life. Like, holy shit. Like, I stopped listening to this playlist that I'm supposed to get through because I love this one song so much that I just have it on loop. And this went on for months. I was just like constantly listening to this song, which ended up being my favorite. That ended up being my top song of the year. And it was an interesting experience because I now had this like feeling, these mixed feelings in my head where I'm like, okay, so I know this band for their most popular song, which I don't like. They have this one song that I think is amazing, but I'm just going to assume it's like a one-off. And if I get into the rest of their catalog, I'm not going to enjoy it so much. But then after a couple of months, I finally bit the bullet. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna try it. And so I listened to the album that World Execute Me comes from, which is called Miracle Milk, and I thought it was amazing. I'm like, oh my god, no, actually this band is super freaking good. Like, it's hard to even describe what they are because they're very varied in the kind of music they make. Like, I kind of describe them as art pop, but they're also they've got some rock songs as well. They've even got some jazz songs in their catalog. They do all sorts of different things, and it also helps that the singer is like so unique in not only all the different languages she can speak and sing in, but also like the way she sings. Like, she can kind of sometimes do like this very cutesy, almost moe voice, but then sing in like a very serious, like I guess normal sort of style. And there's just a lot going on with their music.
Reminds me of Otto. I like where this is going.
I don't know who that is, but sure.
That's the voice actor, singer of Uta from One Piece Film Red.
Oh, wait.
She was already...
Oh, Otto. Oh, ADO.
Otto, yeah. You know.
Oh, okay. Now I know. Of course I fucking know who that is. I didn't realize she voiced that character.
Yeah. Well, she voiced the singing, not the character.
Oh, okay. Well, I knew that much. I knew she did the music for that.
Apologies, that completely...
God, thanks for... Get your facts right, Bacon. Do your research.
It's my first day, I'm sorry.
He just moved into his new apartment.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Literally just moved in, man.
Yeah, so that was... That really defined my year, where I was just basically listening to Millie constantly, and so they ended up having my entire top 5 and a good chunk of my top 100 just in general, because there were quite a few songs that I really got into. And the funniest thing is that when I basically got through their whole catalog. They have 3 albums, but they also have a couple of EPs, and they've done a couple of game soundtracks, interestingly. And for the last few years, they've mostly been releasing just individual singles. They probably have like 2 albums worth of singles, just individually. So when I was done with all that, I was thinking like, okay, so what's the deal with the Goblin Slayer OP? Like, because again, I'm thinking, I'm like, I really remember not liking that song very much. So I go and I'm like, okay, was I just wrong about it the entire time? It's been a while since I've actually listened to it. So I go back now with the context that I think this band's freaking fantastic, and I still don't like it. It's their most popular song, and it is unironically their worst song. I'm like, how did that even happen? That is one, like, I've never had that happen before with a band, where this not only the first song I know by them, but also their most popular is a song I dislike. It was really weird.
Isn't that quite common though? Like, oh, everyone
not
just
for
likes
me.
this
I
band.
don't think that.
Interesting. So this is the first time it's ever happened to you,
Probably.
in particular. Wow. I always thought that was a common thing for like anime fans. You know, like, oh yeah, I like this band. Obviously, their best, Asian Kung Fu Generation. Like their best song is like the Naruto opening song. And it's like, oh yeah, what else do they do? That's it. I don't know. You got a link for this?
For what?
For the playlist of the Goblin Slayer artists.
My top 100. I actually do.
Hmm.
My top 100 songs, because if you actually link your like top 100 that Spotify gives you, it won't work because it'll only give you your own. But you can just copy the playlist essentially, and then put it there, and then I'll link the album by Millie that I really got into. This is actually their second album, and I'm glad I listened to this one first, because it's not only their best album, but if I listened to their first album first, I probably wouldn't have continued because it's not very good.
Right.
And their third album's solid. Nyx would tell you it's their best album. I think it's kind of like it suffers from like sequel syndrome, as I call it. Where it's,
what do you mean by sequel syndrome?
I mean
I know what you're talking about.
I mean that it kind of like increases in scale, so to speak, where like it's a lot more varied, it's a lot more like it just feels bigger and more grand, but not necessarily in the best way.
I think okay, I know what you're talking about then.
And
I'd have to experience it in order to know what you mean.
Yeah, that's
I'll
fair.
probably have to experience it. Yeah.
Something else that is really interesting about this band, and one of the reasons why I kept coming back to them, is their actual, like, their songwriting beyond just, the music. Like, the lyrics for their music are very interesting, very fantastical. It's almost like there's lore surrounding the band, or at least the music that they make. I don't think it's ever been, like, actually explained by the band, but they have lots of songs that kind of connect together, particularly across different albums. Like the first their first album, the last song on it is called Witch's Invitation, and which is essentially about this witch and someone else. And then there's another song on their second album that is Galahad and Scientific Witchery, which is a continuation of that song. And then there's another one on the third album that's Summoning 101, which is a continuation of that. So they have like lots of sequels and like references and callbacks to other songs on their albums. And it's very interesting. Again, I don't think it's ever something that's like there's no way of like going into a deep, like, oh, here's all the information or whatever. It's just like, oh, it's up to you to figure that out, I guess. But it's interesting. Sometimes it's just like fun and fantastical, but a very common
lyrics for a lot of songs. It's like always like, where do you trying to go for? But if it sounds like they're having fun with it, then like that's
it does. But another theme of Millie's music is that a lot of it actually sounds very happy and kind of fun, and the lyrics are insanely depressing.
I love that.
Yes, so you would love this band. Like on the album that I linked to you, the third
Miracle Milk.
song or so, it's called RTRT. Retort.
So is that like? Oh, I thought that was supposed to be like haha, like RDRR, like hardy RR.
No.
Okay, I read that wrong.
So it starts off like just a banger, just like a nice pop banger. It has like this swirling kind of Chinese style beat where it's like and the lyrics are about this Chinese mad scientist, self-proclaimed, who
Okay. I like where this is going already.
Yeah, and then a zombie just like enters her lab somehow. And so what she does is she ends up just taking care of this and by making him food. She's like she just sits him down and just makes him all this different food in order to like tame him, I guess. And it ends up working. And so they end up forming this family-like bond together where they're just kind of living together and making food for each other, and it's nice and fun. And so the song itself really sounds like that. It's all like bouncy. The melodies are really nice. And then right after the second verse, instead of going into the chorus again, because the song is a very straightforward verse-chorus structure to this point, but instead the entire song, like all the instrumentation just like cuts out. It's basically just vocals. And then she sings about this man in black who shows up with Bagua signs, like danger signs and laser guns, and then kills the zombie. And so the song continues, and then it's got like the fun, happy instrumentation again, where the scientist is then continuing to try like making him food and also trying to fix him up in order to like bring him back, even though it's impossible. So it's actually now this song about being unable to accept loss. And it's like, what the fuck?
What the hell is?
Yeah, it's so fun when you hear it the first time, but then you dig into it and you're just like, wait a minute, what?
So I have to listen to this for myself. Like I'm trying to remember Chinese signs. Okay. Dude, there's a song here called Meatball Submarine.
Yeah. Another thing is a lot of their songs are like about food or use food as references to something or symbolism. Yeah, I don't know.
Big fan of that. Yeah. Big fan. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just really, really great stuff from this band. There are some songs that one of my favorite songs from Miracle Milk is called Bathtub Mermaid. That's a song that's
I was looking at that right then. Bathtub Mermaid. Yeah, I was looking at Bathtub
That's a song
Mermaid.
That's so depressing they don't even try to make it sound happy. It is just piano and vocals. There's no other instrumentation for it. And the vocalist who for a while went by the name of Momo Cashew, but nowadays she just uses her real name, which is Cassie Wei. She sings in her actual serious voice, and it's essentially this song about giving everything to somebody and not even getting so much as like a look in return for them. It is one of the most insanely depressing songs ever. It's like one of those songs where you just kind of like listen to it and you're like, what the fuck happened to these people to compel them to write this music?
Painful death for the lactose intolerant. Okay, they're just throwing names against the wall now.
I don't know. It made sense to them in some way. It's a great song.
I mean, I'm for it because at this point, like, you guys have heard the concept of like music where it's like every single chord progression in song has ever been made. So it's like, you know, it's essentially that whole concept of like everything's the same in the end of it all. Right?
I guess, yeah.
Because,
I don't necessarily agree with it, but sure.
But like, I was just laughing because it's like, hey, like, let's make an awesome song, but name it something extremely like random, and then let's see if people try to overanalyze it, kind of thing. Kind of like with the whole like
Andre 3000.
Yeah, like I am the walrus, cuckoo, cuckoo. Like people are like, oh, let's see what that really means. It's like it doesn't mean anything. That's how big we are. Like we could say whatever the hell we want, and then people are gonna listen to it. I don't know. I just find that concept like funny. Like this sounds awesome, but do the lyrics have meaning? No, we're just messing around.
No, the lyrics have a lot of meaning to them. In Lily's case,
I'm for that. So they got your top 100 Miracle Milk, dude. Nice. I know what I'm listening to today, man, dude.
Okay, so now that we're posting playlists, how do you share the playlist modes with it being public now? Like, how do you do that? Because I wanted to
like your top 100.
My top 100. Yeah.
So just wherever you're going to like share the playlist? I guess I'll just screen cap this. But like the 3 dots on Spotify.
Oh, I know that, but like every time I post it, it just
but then okay,
shows,
so just click add to other playlist if you can do that.
like a move to folder.
No, add to other playlist and then create playlist.
Add to profile. I don't know if I have that here.
Yeah.
Is it just in the desktop app?
Yeah, maybe. I'll try seeing if I can do that on.
So I've had this weird thing for a while, where, like, Spotify will just not open up on my desktop. It'll just tell me like, you're offline, and I'm like, no, I clearly have internet. That's weird.
No, I exist.
Yeah, That's annoying. Okay.
Hang on, there's add to other playlists. I see it on mobile.
Okay. What am I doing then?
Yeah, so like the 3 dots next to the share button.
Are you playing with Spotify on your desktop, or are you?
Okay, I'm on mobile now where I'm trying to say this.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm using the Chrome app or the Chrome tab. I do not have add to other playlist. That is not an option for me.
That is weird. I don't know what to say now.
Yeah.
I would be remiss to mention that Millie is not actually very representative of the stuff that I usually listen to. So they were my number 1 by a significant margin. The rest of my rap was basically
but that's saying
hardcore music.
Though. How hardcore are we going?
Well, there's some stuff that's just like punk. So my favorite band of all time, and they've been my favorite band for like 15 years at this point, is Rise Against. So they were an easy number 2.
Yo, heck yeah.
I got a Spotify message from the vocalist, who is the god of heterochromia. That was cool. And
like a personal message, or just like, or
he messaged me directly. He's like, "Thank you, Mozilla Fennekin, for being our number 1 fan."
No, that was the same with me with Otto. Because I didn't understand what she was saying, but I'm like, she's talking to me.
Yeah.
Let's go.
She's spitting. And then actually, who were the other bands in my top 5? Shit, I don't remember. Okay, number 3 was Spirit Box, which is a metal band with a female vocalist. So instantly unusual. But not only that, but she does like actual hardcore vocals, which makes them super unique, I guess. But they're really cool because they're like they can go like super hard with their music, but they're also really atmospheric in a way, almost like I don't actually know if they sound like Deftones, but very similar in like idea, I guess, where like you get really into like the heavy riffs, the chugging and the sorry, that was a cough. Oh god, fuck, I can't do it smoothly. I think I'm dying.
That's what I think you're trying to do.
But they've also got like very mellowed out kind of atmospheres to their music. So that's what's kind of cool about them. They had my favorite song of last year. They just dropped a song called Rotoscope, which is it kind of has like this industrial riff, like it's this very tight, very distorted riff that goes like dun, 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 or something like that.
Dude, that sound like the freaking Dragon Ball Z thing. Dragon,
rock the dragon,
Hell
Z,
yeah,
Dragon, yeah.
Sorry.
And then the vocalist has like this very kind of low, mellow voice. Like she doesn't sing very high, like ever, but it works perfectly for this kind of riff. And then just suddenly she'll just bust out these insane screams, and it's like, what the fuck? It was the first time I ever listened to this band, and it was mind blowing. Like I wish I was like recording myself listening to it for the first time, because that would have been. I had a very vivid reaction to it.
You're like, this is the greatest thing of all time.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was my favorite song of last year, so it worked. Number 4 was Johnny Booth, which is a metalcore band who put out my album of the year. They have a metal album out called Moments Elsewhere, which in lots of ways is just kind of like standard metalcore, but just really freaking good. Like I can't even really say what it is that makes it better than others, just that it's solid. I'm not entirely sure. I'm actually. So I'm now currently trying to go through every hardcore album that came out this year, essentially, because I kind of wanted I wanted this year to be a year where I listened to a lot more music, especially because I opened a Rate Your Music account. Well, I had it open for a while, but I actually started using it this year, which is my anime list, but for music, evidently. Nice. And I also had this thing where I actually have like a list of everything that I was listening to in 2023, and then I was going to review all of them in this like blog post. And I didn't really do that too much. And so now I'm going through like every metalcore album that came out, which is admittedly not a lot. There actually wasn't a whole lot that came out this year because most bands dropped last year or the year before. And so now like all those guys that dropped albums are just touring. They go that's what you do. You drop an album, then go on tour for like 3 years.
Right.
So I'm listening to like all these metalcore albums, and a lot of them are kind of going in one ear and out the other, and I can't even really explain why. It's just kind of like the general standard of it. Like, it's fun for me, but not very memorable. I guess I just kind of get into the formula a little too much. So this band, it's not even like they're groundbreaking. I just think they're just really, really good. Like they have a great blend of melody, great blend of just good instrumentation, and great song structures. Like they do just enough to deviate from the norm that I think that's why it works. So that was my number 4, and then number 5 is A Crowd of Rebellion, which is a Japanese metalcore band that I got into a couple of years ago, and I was actually legit.
That is a dope name.
Yeah, so Japanese bands have the coolest names sometimes.
Dude, one of my favorite bands is Man with a Mission. I'm just like, nice.
What if there was a man with a mission?
Yeah, wow. He's a man.
I love them because they're furries. They were wearing wolves' heads the whole time. I'm joking. They're not furries. But they all are wearing wolves' heads.
You know, Man with a Mission opened for Rise Against one time in the UK. I wish I could have done that tour. Yeah, that sounded fucking awesome.
What the heck? I didn't even know that they were... I would love to see them live.
Yeah, they're big enough to tour internationally sometimes, which I can talk about in a minute. If we talk about like shows,
you've gone to a lot of concerts this year.
That's what I was saying. So anyway, A Crowd of Rebellion, or A-Core, it's just a metalcore band that I got into a couple of years ago. They're not even like a top tier favorite necessarily, but they do have some songs that I come back to pretty often because. I mean, they have some songs that are like really nice and straightforward. Like I think they're my favorite song by them is called Raccoon Dead, and it's just like a straightforward metal track. It's just like super tough and heavy, and it just rules. But they also have some songs where they'll bring in like weird like pop punk influences or even pop influences, very similar to Maximum the Hormone. If you know who those guys are. They're the guys who did the second Death Note opening, most notably.
Oh, fuck yeah!
And also most recently, the third Chainsaw Man ED, like the really chaotic one.
I swear I am the only person who likes that opening, and that's fine.
Well, you are actually the second person in the world who likes that opening, because I also love it.
Fuck yes.
It is one of the coolest openings ever. And that band is amazing. They're probably my favorite J metal band. And I only say probably because they haven't had an album in 10 years at this point. And they've only they're very people like call them the Japanese System of a Down, and that is now true because they had a hiatus and then came back. But they've done put out 3 songs in the last 6 years since they've been reformed and actually active.
How do you say the name of their second song? Is that a 3?
Which band?
Crowd of Rebellion. I'm looking at their top 5 right now.
I have to look at this myself.
Sorry.
They do have weird naming conventions sometimes.
Yeah, Raccoon Desno.
Oh, that's Ill.
Ill.
It's I11.
Oh, okay.
I too want one. That's so true, actually.
Stupid. God, I hate
I'm
you.
only saying this.
I hate you and everything you sit for.
I am sitting. How did you know?
God, this guy.
Wild guess.
I should get me one of those standing desks.
Yeah. The band that I was surprised to see Acor in my top 5. I thought the number 5 band I was going to have was Pale Dusk, which is also probably my favorite Japanese metal band, and the only reason why they're not is because they don't have enough stuff in general. They're not even like necessarily new-ish. They've been around for a few years, but since like 2020 or so,
their number one song's called Slay. Yo,
yeah, that song's amazing. So like in 2020 or so, they really changed up their style to like they're a metal band, and they've got like their general sound is based in metalcore and also gent, which gent is like metal that has very like syncopated, very like staccato riff. So like that would kind of be like a gent riff right there. That's how that music is styled generally. So that's kind of like
I like this educational part of it, because I feel like you're the most musically talented.
Well, I feel like a lot of people wouldn't really know what that is necessarily. Like, what? There's a genre of music called gentleman.
That's all of us here.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. So Pale Dusk's gent-based sound is like based on metalcore and gent, but they fuse together so many different like genres into their sound that it is impossible to pin them in like one box. I guess new metal would be like that would also be their thing, but like take what I said about Maximum the Horma, where you got this band that has like they're a metal band, but then they kind of throw in like weird different styles of music just very suddenly, and take that to an extreme. I am actually pretty sure that the guy who writes their music, which is their guitarist, is a time traveler. I think he came from like the year 2075 and then was like, hey, this is what music sounds like in that year. And then he's brought it into the 2020s because it is
literally Back to the Future. Like,
literally.
That one sound you're looking for?
Like, no, like the stuff that this band does, no one else is doing. Or at the very least, they weren't, but now people are starting to take notice of them, and they're trying to do the same thing.
Would you say they like created like a new style, kind of like
it's not even necessarily new, but I guess some of the ideas and like the way they do it.
Would you say it's kind of like when Tom Morello for Rage Against the Machine was doing like his like guitar sound, like, and everyone's like, "What the heck is that sound? Holy crap!"
It's not like they're inventing new sounds necessarily.
Okay. I'd have to listen to it.
Yeah, they're just very unique and one of a kind. But they they are seriously ahead of the curve. Like they're the band that I would tell people like, all right, if you want to get in on a band before they go they get like super popular, listen to these guys. And I'm sure it will happen at some point, because arguably the biggest band right now is Bring Me the Horizon, which has recently done like a very similar thing where they're a metal band, but they then infuse like pop elements into their music. They've actually collaborated with these guys. That the writer of Pale Dusk that I mentioned, he's actually credited with production and some writing on Bring Me the Horizon's newest stuff. So they are absolutely getting noticed by, like, at the very least, other metal bands that are really influential.
Oh, Baby Metal collabed with them. Oh, nice. I never heard these.
Wait,
guys.
have you not heard the Baby Metal song with Bring Me the Horizon is literally my favorite.
Kingslayer. I'm adding it.
It is literally my favorite song of the decade. It is one of the greatest songs of all. And when it came out, I'm just like, what the fuck is that? I didn't hear it. I just saw that they were on the same song, and I'm like, what in the world?
And you're just like, this is it. This is peak art.
And then I heard it, and I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Dude, hell yeah. That's what I want to hear. Dude, you guys gave me enough music content for the rest of the year for at work.
Yeah.
Dude, this might be in my new workout playlist, man. Dude,
also, I mentioned like a minute ago, like bands, like Japanese bands touring overseas, essentially. Yeah, Pale Dusk actually just toured the U.S. with Polaris and Currents, which are two metal bands that I think are just kind of generic and whatever. They both had albums this year. I thought they were like okay. But yeah, they were the opener for these guys. So once again, like I said, they're getting noticed. They are on the radar for some people. I hope the thing that's going to really elevate them for me, and which is why I say they're like maybe a favorite, like a potential favorite, is that they just need to have like an album. They need to put it. They've dropped a few individual songs that are fantastic, but I just need them to put it together for a whole album next. That's what's going to really elevate them.
Have they teased anything? Like, well, what's going on?
No, they've just dropped songs. That's all. They've just dropped singles.
I mean,
hopefully someday though.
that's all we can hope for. I need more content.
Exactly. You know, I do. It's something that kind of really annoys me about the general landscape of music, and this is literally Spotify's fault. Like, this is literally the fault of streaming, and it's that bands in general are like moving away from albums, and now they're
Just one song.
They're just dropping singles, they're dropping EPs, and those can be fine. Like that's what Spirit Box is doing. They dropped an album. They dropped their first and only album in 2021, and since then they've dropped a couple of EPs. They dropped one last year. They dropped one this year, and they said like, yeah, we'll do another album like eventually, maybe next year or the year after. But what I hate, and like, it can be fine in general doing that kind of stuff, but what I hate is that usually it's almost like bands are doing it just for the sake of having another song, like, so they can add it to streaming and then just get like attention brought onto them.
Well, yeah, get the money and the royalties.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, look.
Even though Spotify doesn't pay people shit. But
do you think that's a quality over quantity mindset of just like, let's put a lot of effort into this one song? And then, like,
well, no, because usually these like one-off songs end up being not very good or memorable compared to the rest of their stuff.
And then when they release the album, that song is there. It's like, oh,
yeah, sometimes, and then it's like, oh,
yeah.
that bit of a yikes there.
It's like, wait, you guys didn't like this one?
Yeah.
So sad. Oh, okay, I see where you're going with that.
Didn't Spirit Box collaborate with Megan Thee Stallion?
Yeah, I showed you that. I guess Megan Thee Stallion had some remixes with some people. I know nothing about Megan Thee Stallion.
That's so sick, actually.
But I saw that, and yeah,
she's so in tune with the culture. I fucking love it.
Yeah, they did talk about it. Courtney, the singer of Spirit Box, like mentioned it. Her and her husband, who is the guitarist for the band, they mentioned it. And they talked about it, like how like people would be so surprised, but like they're like, actually a lot of pop stars and stuff like listen to metal music and stuff, and vice versa. Like they were saying, like, oh yeah, people think we probably listen to like metal, and like, sure, we do. We keep in touch with the scene and all, but like on our own, we listen to Taylor Swift and shit.
Hell yeah.
And it's funny because usually the people who are like in the community, like people who listen to metal music, are like, oh, fuck pop music.
They only listen to
metal forever, bro.
Yeah.
Jeez. You gotta be open-minded. That's all it is. For me, I just want to hear. Well, I'm more based off recommendations. You guys gave me like 1,000 songs today. Holy crap, man!
We gave you like at least 200 songs.
Mm-hmm.
I got 200 from each of you, and then on top of the albums for like Miracle Milk and the Unlucky Morphers. I think honestly that's the reason why it's sticking to my head now.
All-timer name. I love me a good Miracle Milk.
The Miracle Whip. Gross.
Ooh, what else?
That's gross. Eats Miracle Whip. Sick.
Oh, also, Megan Thee Stallion sent Courtney a very large bouquet. It was very like Courtney said, she was like the nicest person ever. So
Megan Thee Stallion.
Shout out to Megan Thee Stallion.
Really cool.
Yeah.
We should get Megan Thee Stallion on the podcast.
Hell yeah! I mean, she watches a lot of
if
anime.
Only talk about like JoJo or some shit. Yeah.
Stupid.
Admittedly, I would probably shoot my shot with her. I don't know if it's a good idea.
It doesn't hurt to. That's great content. It's
like she's single at this point. Like, she broke up with her boyfriend.
Go
That's
on.
the whole thing. Yeah.
Go on.
Ooh,
so like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what her new single Cobra was about. I mean, it was about a number of things, but it was her going through things. One of the reasons is her partner at the time cheated on her, which is
damn. Kiritsugu is everywhere.
Why would you cheat on Megan Thee Stallion? I don't.
Are you
understand.
stupid?
Are you fucking stupid?
God, dude.
I just don't get it.
Why do men date hot women and then not respect them?
Or just
bullshit.
Not respect them, but like you're dealing with like Megan Thee Stallion, who seems like 10 out of 10, just perfect woman in every regard, right? Yeah. I just don't understand. I hate men. The worst.
Big same.
Yeah.
What are we talking about
God,
now?
I fucking hate you guys.
Where did this direction
We're
go
being
through?
men.
What? Men, dude, men are the greatest. I'm not gonna say this joke.
So should I, since you kind of alluded to it, should I bring up the concerts?
Yeah, sure.
I've only listened to 37.
I saw the tweets.
I've only listened to 37,000 minutes of music, which is hilariously consistent. If I could pull up my Spotify Wrapped from the past few years, like back from 2020, every year it's 37 or 38,000 minutes. I don't know how I make it so amazingly consistent, but that's
Hell yeah.
what happens somehow.
I just do about 100,000 minutes every year, just going hard.
I guess it helps that I'm
numbers.
just very varied in where I'm listening to stuff. Like I do I listen to lots of YouTube videos.
Dude, same.
Yes.
Like, dude, the long hour videos of people discussing one thing.
I
I'm
do
just
all
like,
my
heck yeah.
YouTube listening at home. I just don't do it at work, which is where I listen to Spotify the most.
Well, that's the same with me. It's both.
Yeah, good stuff.
But the thing I do have over a lot of people is that I made up for it by going to concerts. That was a big goal of mine this year, because I started going to shows last year. Not that I hadn't ever gone to shows before or anything, but I actually used to go to shows quite often. I even like every year. Well, this only happened a few times, but we used to have this really big rock festival in KC. It was called Rockfest, and so that's kind of like that kind of
Name for it.
yeah. And so I would go.
Simple.
I would go to that in high school with some family friends, and they kind of like, you know, I got accustomed to concert culture through that. You know, I learned how to be in a crowd and go to shows and stuff like that.
Do you make concert besties?
I wish I did.
Okay.
Oh, is that the same thing as getting rave married?
What?
I don't know.
I don't know,
I'm
because
gonna
I've never
have
been to
ask
a
my
rave
rave
before.
friends about that.
So rave,
What I
I
mean
think
by concert besties is basically for the duration of the concert, you are kind of possibly best friends with the person that you're around. Not the person you came with, but like the people surrounding you. Like you watch their back. If you go to the bathroom, they'll save your spot and stuff like that.
I mean, I have passing interactions with people like that. I wouldn't say we end up like being besties for the show, but it's like, you know, guy next to me is leaving for a bit. He's like, "Hey, save my spot." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then it's like, "All right, cool."
I mean,
You guys are besties then.
I've kind of
Okay.
I've kind of
I'm
had
sure.
that with like convention people when I'm standing in line.
It's the same thing with like standing in line at a convention.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you're
it's
my
like-
bestie.
I haven't been to a
Well-
convention before.
Oh,
Dave, you still haven't gone
we
to
gotta
one,
take you to a
man.
convention. Yeah.
Anime
What's the one
NYC
in
next
Cybercon,
year.
buddy? Oh my gosh.
I don't have much time because of my injury. When's Anime NYC? I'm looking up right now. Hold on.
In November.
Convention talk.
It happened already
It
in
literally
November.
just happened like 2 weeks ago, so late November.
There's always next year, right?
Exactly.
God
That's
damn.
what I'm saying.
New
Yeah.
York.
New York City, baby. The Big Apple, yeah.
But Bacon,
I
Bacon,
want
go
to.
to this convention so you can convince Bex to go because he's like, it's
This
too
is-
far away.
Dude,
really
we're,
far
we're, in
away.
we're in the same time zone, ass. Like,
Exactly.
It literally,
Exactly.
As well.
it literally is too far for me
We
too.
would have to go
Oh,
like
poor
together
you.
or something. Yeah. Take the same plane and be like,
Dude, a plane ride with you, Becker. I'd be annoyed by you. Hour
I would just be
one.
watching a movie on the plane. Like I would just be minding my business.
I am knocking out. Like, don't talk to me, dude. Flying
I've
sucks,
already
dude.
popped to Xanax. I'm already out of here.
Jesus.
Yeah.
There's got to be.
I actually hate flying. If I'm being honest, I hate.
Who likes flying when you're poor?
I don't hate
Who?
flying.
Why would you fly when you could just take the train?
See, I
Trains
would, but, like,
in America, good one, Bex.
Hey.
No. Trains are awesome. It's just that time sucks. That's the only thing.
No,
that
the
sucks.
time
It's
sucks.
just that
Yeah,
there
if I
literally
was-
are none where I live.
Well,
You could probably take one from Portland or Seattle to New York. It would take you like a month, but
No, that's the downside. I would like.
That actually sounds kind of fun, taking like a month-long pilgrimage to an anime convention.
That would probably be super fucking chill, actually. If I had the time and money for that, I would absolutely do that.
Well, that's how you
become
make
a
it,
content creator where you can just make that content and then make $6 billion.
Oh, that would be such a good
you
vlog.
gotta. Well, you need to start
Exactly.
out. You need to start by doing like being the guy that has the van, and then like I live out my van.
Oh,
and
I don't
all
want
of
to be
sudden-
a van guy because I think that's lame and stupid.
You don't want to
and
be a
huge
luxe fan.
dump of your money. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
What's the resale value on like vans that you live in?
Oof.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm asking. Like, what?
Dude, you're combining like the mileage of the van itself plus like how much damage has gone on the inside, like an actual
Plus, you
apartment.
could poop in the van. Do people want to have a toilet in their van? I don't know. That sounds cool at first, and you're like, "Fuck, I
See,
gotta."
that's what's worrying for me is like people go like, oh, I don't know like where my
Some
next.
people don't even like put a toilet in their van. They just poop outside.
No, that's the thing. It's like, what's the worst feeling? Not knowing where your next meal is going to come from, or not knowing where your next pooping location is going to be. Like
Where's
that's
my
the
next
worst.
stool? Yeah, like
That's the worst, right? Because then you're driving, and then the next day comes, and you're like, I'm in the middle of nowhere.
see, I've
You're in the dirt.
I'm like instantly RV pilled because of the van discussion. Like an RV sounds kind of more reassuring, or at the
So-
very least, a train sounds more reassuring. than
Like,
a van.
imagine being extremely like, wealthy, famous, and that's when you have the tour bus, where it's like a house on the.
Yeah, but then you're like saving it, or you're sharing with other people, which sounds cramped. And like, if it's for a long period of time,
You gotta,
that sounds
you gotta
not fun.
choose the right crew, you know.
I guess you got to really do some vetting before you put them on the bus. Yeah.
I mean, all three of us. Okay, all three of us on a tour bus. What do you think? Like just in general,
I could do it.
Yeah, like me and Miles would be playing Pokemon Unite. Big TV.
Fuck
just
that.
be-
No, I'm out. I can't. I'm not playing Pokemon Unite. Pokemon
yelling
Unite
at
fucking
you.
sucks.
Push the boss, Miles. Where are you?
I can live with pushing a bus by hand, but playing Pokemon Unite is too far.
I don't know what game we could play together. Okay, we'll play Overcooked together and yell at each other like on the bear. Read the ticket, Miles.
I love
Why
that
are
is his deal breaker. Is just Pokemon Unite. That's
I don't know.
it. Actually, is Pokemon Ununited at this point.
I'm sorry.
Like,
I was trying to think of a game that we ended up both playing at some point in our lives, and I was like, oh, I remember Moz playing this because I got on it like last
What
year. and I
about
was
any
like,
other Pokemon game?
I don't play Pokemon.
Well, the thing
Why
is,
did you
there
go
aren't
to
a lot of
Unite?
there aren't a lot of multiplayer Pokemon games.
I guess.
Which is the
Well,
joke.
What about just playing Pokemon cards?
We'd have to have the
I'll build-
physical cards.
I'll build a
Yeah.
deck, dude. I haven't been collecting, but I'll build a deck just to face you, Moz. I'll just net deck and just build one online, and there you go. See, there you go. And then
Except
Becker.
our online deck simulator is fucking garbage.
Yep, I stopped playing when they shut down the desktop version. I was like, oh look, One Piece, and then there you go, new addiction. So thank you.
Okay,
for the
we were
recs,
talking about
by the way.
concerts. Speaking of tour buses, concerts. That's actually a good segue.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I
Sure.
started going to shows. Like I went to a few shows when I was still in my teens, and that was fun. And then I just kind of like stopped, and there was no specific reason for it. I just didn't go to shows anymore. And believe it or not, it was actually the Travis Scott thing in the Astroworld thing in 2021.
How ironic.
It was kind of ironic, but the reason why it made me want to go to shows again is I was pissed about the situation, and I'm going to say this. I'm not going to judge anybody for listening to Travis Scott, but I certainly won't do it. I refuse to support this person. I think he is an absolutely disgusting person. I'm not saying he should be in jail for what happened in there, like he's specifically at
But
fault.
he's pretty irresponsible for.
He is extremely irresponsible. And now that he's, I guess cleared of that, he's gone back to being an asshole. Like there was a clip of him earlier this year where he just pushed a photographer off the stage. It's like someone who worked at the venue and it was like a festival and it was like actual staff and he's just like, nope, get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm Travis Scott, bitch. Get the fuck. It's like, fuck that guy, dude. But nobody gives a shit about any of that because Utopia is like the best album ever. Whatever. Again, no judgment to anybody who actually listens to him. It's not like your fault or you don't have to be responsible for it. I just think I personally it's not your fault that society sucks. So that being said, I was kind of like talking a big game because because a lot of the issues were like, concert conduct essentially. And so I was like, oh, well, me growing up, I've been to concerts and stuff like that, and this stuff wouldn't be allowed. Like, this stuff doesn't happen at metal shows, I was kind of talking a big game, but I was like, wait a minute, I haven't been to a concert in like 7 years.
Have you walked the walk quite recently?
Exactly. So I'm like, I need to correct this. So I went to a couple of shows in 2021. It was nice. It was really fun. It got me back in that mood again. So I'm like, I should do this more often. This should be like my thing. And so 2023, my goal was to go to 10 concerts overall. And I did. I ended up going to 10 shows. And it was great. I'm really happy I did. Honestly, 2023, shit year, Bacon died. It's fine. I'm recording on OBS.
No, my audio stops right there. Yeah.
Well, I know, but still, it's fine.
Thank you.
Not the end of the world. What was I saying? 2023, not a great year for me, but I'm at least glad that I did this. I had one goal that I accomplished. Not that I guess I went to the best shows. I mean, I went to shows that I was interested in seeing. Some of them were for bands that I like legit really wanted to see. Like I saw Death Grips this year, which was just
fuck yeah.
Yeah. I wish I had done that years and years ago, and I regretted not doing it years and years ago because I thought that they were like going to stop completely, but then they toured this year, and I'm like,
they might actually just stop now. That's the thing.
They probably will because their fan base is
talking about conduct.
Cringe.
Yeah, ridiculous.
No, so what the concerts that like you missed like in the past years was the reason for like time, money? You didn't know they were in town.
I just didn't really think about it honestly. I guess I just wasn't as into it. I don't know. I can't really say.
That's the same with me because like I think first of all growing up it was like I had no money, and then the second thing was kind of like didn't know they were in town and all that stuff. I'm the same with like seeing stand. And then when I finally started knocking off my list of like my favorite bands and seeing them live in the past couple of years. Finally got to see Dragon Force live, Gorillaz live.
Bacon, how do you feel about the new Gorillaz album?
Oh, Song Machine?
No.
Damn.
Cracker Island. You didn't know they had another album?
Frozen Island?
Oh, no. So I heard the Cracker Island single, but I didn't delve any further than.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
But because I remember you guys.
Is this the one that features Thundercat at some point? Is that?
Yeah, it's the song.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Cracker
Yeah.
Island.
Spoiler alert. Cracker Island, the song is by far the best song on the album.
Ooh, really?
It's actually like shocking. Like that song is insanely. And I'll admit, I'm not like a big Gorillaz fan. Like they're okay.
I'm huge.
Yeah, I know, which is why I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I never got a chance to consume the whole album yet. I actually forgot that it was that the last thing I literally listened to was their single Cracker Island first featured music video.
Mm-hmm.
But because I was gonna say, I remember you were talking about like best albums of the decade and stuff like that. I know it's like still early, but when 2020 Song Machine came out, that was my favorite album of like the decade till this day today for.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I stand with like current decade music.
We should talk about that a little bit after I finish my overly long concerts anecdote.
No, keep at it. But thank you for letting me know that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm not like a Gorillaz fan. Like I enjoy their singles. Is kind of the thing. Like I enjoy Feel Good Inc. I enjoy Clint.
I love Dare. Dare's such a banger.
Dare's good. Stylo, I think is fantastic.
Yeah. That was the best driving song, even though they're literally driving in the music.
Yeah, Stylo fucking rules. But Cracker Island, when that came out, I'm like, holy shit, this song's insane. But yeah, then the album came out, and I just listened to it like last week, and I'm like, wow, that's boring.
Damn.
It's weird. Like the song itself feels out of place.
Oh, I mean, that's the thing. It's like not every album from every artist is gonna be.
Yeah, especially an artist like Damon who is like collab. Like Gorillaz is more like a collab with a bunch of different artists, I guess.
Right.
Instead of like one person doing stuff.
Also good.
Anyway, so concerts. I mean, I don't really have too much to add to that. Just that I went to a lot of concerts and they were great. I do wish I could have like I guess gotten into some of them more. Either like being more familiar with the artist in question, because a lot of shows I went for like the sake of going. Because like I was saying about metal in general, I'll listening to it, it'll just kind of go in one ear and out the other. It's like I'll hear it and I'm like, this is fine. It's good. I would more prefer hearing it in concert. And the reason for that is because, particularly with loud concerts like that, especially like in metal shows, it's like a physical experience. It's like you're not really there to listen to the music, especially because usually at that volume it's like unintelligible. Or
Right.
just,
Well,
like,
well,
worse quality.
that's why they say like when you have an artist that's more like a huge performance or like choreographed like huge show kind of where it is more like, not sure if you guys have seen like the Kanye concert on, but it is like a freaking spectacle, dude. Like all these like special effects on the stage and stuff. It's wild. Like
Yeah,
more
there's
than
some-
just the music, he's like a massive maniac in it. So
yeah.
and say what you want, but it's like sometimes when artists just take that level where like I'm gonna throw on like an actual show as generic sounds, that's where it gets physically like, wow,
Yeah.
I got my.
But
And on top of that, we're getting. It's like, do you wear earplugs? Are your ears good? Like, do you have tendonitis or what? Like,
well, I do have tendonitis, but that's just because I listen to my actual music too loud. But yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
you got to wear earplugs if you go to metal shows.
see, I started doing that last year. Yeah, this is the. Actually, the concert me and Becker went to when we saw the Pillows live. At one point, we were like yelling at each other. We were just like, "Isn't this a little?"
I could
loud?
not hear. Yeah,
Yeah,
I could not
then
hear
we-
for hours afterwards.
Yeah, when we walked out trying to look for our car, we had that little deafness of like kind of like, yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, dude, that was fun, man. Like we're like yelling in the car, and like the next day I got scared. I was like, it's not going away.
I was really scared. I'm like, is my hearing just like gone now? That
Yeah.
sucks.
But now
Have
you
to
have to
deal
get
with
that.
that.
So imagine if like Maz like going to all these metal concerts, never ever wore earplugs ever. It's like, yeah, that's gonna be. But
You know what? I just
now
realized I
there's-
don't actually wear earplugs at concerts anymore. It was just that
You-
Pillows concert that like really hurt.
No,
For
I
whatever
gave
reason.
I
Everything
gave,
after that has been fine.
I gave you one at the Dragon Force concert.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they played
I kinda
Cry
forgot about
Thunder,
that.
and you're like, dude, Cry Thunder, that's the only song I know. I'm just like, hell yeah, dude.
I mean, for what it's worth, it can also depend on like where you are. Like one of the shows I went to was a trio of Lorna Shore, Mastodon, and Gojira, and I didn't actually get into the crowd for this one, mostly because I guess I'm not like as into Gojira and Mastodon as I would like. I mostly went to the concert for Lorna Shore, which was the first the first opener. But I was so they played at an amphitheater. They played in a big venue, so there was like a general attendance area that I could have gone into. But I actually had some friends and family at this show, so I just went to sit with them like in the back of the theater in the
That's
seats.
the move. It's chill. You know?
And
You're
and
just
back
to-
there, it's not loud enough where you really need earbuds. Like you can be fine there. It's just like if you plan on being pretty close to the stage, as I was in most other cases, then yeah, you should get some protection.
Is that what you prefer? Do you like being up there? I'm not.
I-
gonna say
well,
you are.
like I
Are
said,
you're a
you-
mosher. Like,
Yeah, like I'm more of a mosher. I mean, I don't like moshing itself usually. I mean, I'll do it. Like it can be fun, but like I said, for me, concerts like these shows that I go to are more about the physical experience, like being amongst a bunch of people and getting like moved around a whole lot and stuff like that.
right. Or like just being in the presence of the artist. Like, oh, there he is. That's the
Kinda,
guy.
yeah.
Kinda. That's what I feel. Something like the Gorillaz concert. I did not need earplugs at all because their music is obviously like powerful gangbuster kind of.
Mhm.
It was like a really chill experience, just like mostly bobbing. But
Mhm.
like when I was at the Baby Metal concert, I was like, oh boy, okay,
Yeah.
do you need to put these on?
They're gonna be loud.
And the reason why I went to the Baby Metal concert is because Death Clog opened for them. I'm like, oh, this is the greatest concert of all time.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, dude. That was more
I
for
think
me.
that
my
tour
brother.
actually came here. I might have been able to go, but it was probably too expensive.
That I just love Death Clog. Can we have a Metalocalypse episode?
Yeah, sure.
I'll do that episode alone, dude. It's just be me referencing thing.
You just be talking to yourself.
Dude. And then next April Fool's episode. What?
Oh, we got a plan for that.
Do I have any plans for year-end stuff?
I don't know. Probably not. We just go
So
by
busy.
vibes.
We're so busy, dude.
We're busy people.
We should do a year-end stream or so. I remember we did one stream where we just played Counter-Strike, and that was fun.
Oh, that was fun. We should play
That
another
was
game. Yes.
Let's play
I'm
Counter-Strike
down.
again.
I suck at Counter-Strike.
Did I ever tell you guys whatever happened with me in Counter-Strike?
No,
No.
what happened with you in Counter-Strike? Did
Okay.
you guys, like, go on a
the
couple
first time
dates,
I
like-
played was with you guys last year, like
So-
2 years ago, dude.
So, I
was
played it on my own a little bit, just casually. I tried ranked a couple of times. I got my ass kicked, and people got mad at me.
Naturally, like that's,
Yeah, like
I
okay,
can't handle that stress, dude. I don't know
Yeah.
how you did. Like
it's funny. I would like go into a casual lobby and just pop off. I'd go like 12-3, and I'm like, oh, I'm pretty good, and then go into ranked and go like 3-20. I'm like, fuck.
Stick your head out.
I get shot. And I'm like, I didn't even see that motherfucker. How did he do that? He's cheating. This is bullshit.
Facts.
So I played it for a few months, I guess.
Damn.
And I did something that is generally unsafe, but I was cool with it. I got some of the loot crates. Some of those good old loot boxes, those gotcha things.
You get the
Oh
knife.
boy.
You get
Yeah,
a knife.
So I did tell you about this.
No, I don't know. I'm joking.
No, I think you just
Wait,
guessed that
wait.
you got a knife.
I'm guessing you got a knife.
I must have told you this story because yes, I got a knife.
Yo, let's go.
I got this really cool knife out of a loot box, and I was fine. And for the record, I was fine with doing this because the game's free in general, and these things cost like $5. I'm like, I've played this game a lot. I'll spend like $10 on these. So yeah, I got this really cool looking knife in the game, and I'm like, this is sick. Like, it was so cool that I would get compliments for it in game. Like, oh man, this dude's got a talon. It was called a talon knife because it looked like a claw. It's like, oh man, this dude's got a talon knife. Where'd you get that, bro? I'm like, I just rolled for it. Like, oh, how many loot crates do you buy, bro? I'm like, I don't know,
3.
2. Like, oh, you're lying. Like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Anyway, so yeah, it was pretty interesting. And then I find out you can actually sell in-game items on
That's
Steam.
That's what I was gonna ask you.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah, you can sell like in-game cosmetics on Steam. I didn't realize this until like a month later. I find out this thing is worth $200. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing playing this game? And I sell this immediately.
yeah.
And then
so, like,
I stop.
Apparently,
And
there's
then
a huge market in it. Like, there's a market in CS:GO where like people just play CS:GO, use their funding to get more crates so they can get more of that in stonks, obviously. But
yeah, and I'm going to assume that there's like, some kind of shady business thing. Because so you sell it for Steam bucks. You don't sell it for real cash, evidently. But I'm sure that you could be cheeky with it. And like, you sell it for Steam bucks and like I was thinking, I could make real money if I like use the money I get here and then like buy actual games and then sell them back to people for like a cheap. Like,
right.
like I'll buy a $60 game on Steam and then tell someone, hey, PayPal me $50 and I'll give you this game.
and then you change your Twitter bio to entrepreneur. Damn it, boss.
Donald Trump, art of the deal. But no, I'm just like, I'm just gonna buy games with it, and so that's what I did. So I stopped playing Counter-Strike because I got $200 worth of Steam games out of it.
Jesus. I mean, worth it. Let's be honest.
Oh, it was absolutely worth it. I'm so happy with how this turned out.
Dude, yeah, because you got that little, you got that rush, dude. You're like,
Yeah, I got that gotcha rush.
oh, he's addicted, guys.
I'm not addicted. I stopped.
Liar.
I'm not lying. You can check my Steam history. I didn't play Counter-Strike in years now.
Dude, you can get back in. Feel it.
Nah, I'm good.
Dude, congrats. Okay, so yeah, I had a feeling. I was like, I'm pretty sure like some beginner's luck. Awesome. No, we'll think of a game. No, I'll find a game that's free or affordable. We'll all play that during.
I want to mention to close out my bit on concerts. The best show that I saw this year was a show that I didn't even like. I saw this was like available. Like I saw that because the one good thing about Spotify, as evil as they are, is that they'll actually give you like concerts that are around you. Like, hey, this band's playing in your area on this day.
They do the same. They do the same with me, but with comedy.
Oh, that's actually awesome.
There's stand-up comedy on Spotify.
I mean, I knew
I'm very
that, but I didn't think they'd do like. I guess that makes sense. So this actually ended up being the first show that I went to this year. It was Otoboke Beaver, which is an all-girl Japanese punk band that is honestly not even all that popular. So I saw that they were touring the U.S. and I'm like, and they were coming here, and I'm like, how? And I wanted to go because I'm like, I had no idea what it was going to be like. Like, not only in terms of like, I've listened to their music a little bit, and it's kind of fun, very chaotic and like in like kind of like a comical way, but very cool. But I'm like, what in the world kind of show is this even going to be like? Again, it's an all-girl Japanese punk band. Like, I have no idea what I'm getting into. Like, what kind of crowd are they going to bring in? What's it going to be like? I have no idea. The answer is the crowd is kind of all over the place, and the energy was insane. Like, this was the most energetic show I went to this year.
So worth your money?
Absolutely worth my money.
Nice.
I mean, they sold out this venue that holds like 900, so which is decent. And yeah, just like the most energetic crowd that I was a part of. Like, it was constant movement, constant like getting pushed and shoved around and shit like that. The music was just super chaotic and great. It was awesome. I'll actually post the concert log that I have on my Rate Your Music. There, you can have like blog posts there. So today I published my concert log. So keeping track of all the concerts that I've gone to in the 2020s while I'm still in my 20s.
Say that.
Yeah. So that's my thing on concerts.
How old are you now?
20. I'm going to turn 28 at the end of the month.
God.
Yeah, that's what I feel. That's how I feel.
Here I am. Oh, I'm turning 30.
Next year, my goal, which is already like halfway funded, is I'm going to a festival called Sick New World in Las Vegas. It's a festival that has like old school, well, I guess I shouldn't say old school, but like old metal bands, like old new metal bands in general. Like System of a Down is the main headliner for the band or for the festival. So that's my main goal. I'm probably not going to go to as many concerts, although there are already 3 of them that I saw and I'm like, oh shit, this is going to be insane. Like Sim is going to come here next year, which is another one of those bands where I'm like, how the fuck are they coming here?
Watch.
Which, for the record, Sim is a Japanese metal band that nowadays is most famous for doing the last Attack on Titan openings.
Oh, SIM. Wait, I feel
Yes.
like I've heard, I feel like I'm familiar with their music.
Yeah. A while ago, they did the Rage of Bahamut opening.
Oh, they did Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Am I thinking of something else?
I don't think they go that far back.
Am I thinking? Maybe. Okay, I'm probably gonna look up SIM anime openings. Alright, I have no idea. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
You probably are,
Yeah.
but that's
What was the worst? What was the worst concert?
what was the worst concert I went to?
Yeah.
Tough to say. It's tough to say because it's not like any.
Worst. Yeah, there's a worst means like, oh, I hated it, but like, what was the one that you went to
Yeah.
and you were just like, meh? Like, oh,
Okay, so I would
alright.
say the worst one that the least enjoyable one I went to, and this actually has nothing to do with the bands who performed
course.
or their
Of
performance.
course.
So,
It could have been a reason like
I have to explain this. So it
Yeah.
was in May. The bill was Banks Arcade, Thornhill, which is the one band out of the 4 that I wanted to see. They're a metalcore band from the UK. Wait, are they from the UK? No, they're from Australia. Sorry. They're very Deftonesy, just to quickly describe them. But yeah, they were the band that I really wanted to see. Holding Absence and The Plot in You. So four bands at this. Thornhill was the only one I was like really familiar with. I was familiar with a couple of the others, but they were the band that I wanted to go, and they were great. Problem is, the day this show happened, earlier in that day, we had to put my cat down.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, we had to put Jeffrey down that day, and it was a traumatic experience. And I went to this show to kind of like move on from it. Yeah, like let off steam, I guess. But I couldn't like.
Bothers you.
Yeah, it was bothering me. So I
I'm sorry to hear.
I didn't get into the show as much as I wanted to. Unfortunately, it just kind of brought my mood down a bit. Like I'm still glad that I went. And funny enough, Thornhill is going to come back next. So one of the 3 shows that I said I want to go to next year. Thornhill is going to be opening for Silent Planet, along with Johnny Booth. So I saw Johnny Booth this year because they, like I said, album of the year. They toured for that. They played at a venue that holds like, I feel like on a good day it would hold 100 people. Like it was so small, but it was such an awesome show.
But doesn't that make it more like intimate deal? You know, when it's all like jam packed together, or no, you're not.
No, for a metal show, I feel like having a smaller, intimate venue was actually a good thing. Like I don't know, it's just there's just more crowd interaction in general. It's just I don't know. It's nice.
Ooh, do you want artists to interact with you? Like,
Yeah, I think it's fun.
Hell yeah.
There's something very fun about having a guy grab your head and then scream into it.
I won't say at that level.
That's what the guy at Johnny Booth did. It was fucking awesome. Like the stage they played on was tiny. Like it was insanely small. It almost didn't even fit the band, which is just like a normal 4-person band. Like the guitarist mic fell down and had to like help him get it set up again. So the singer would just like make do with it by just jumping into the crowd and performing on the floor a lot of the time.
Heck yeah.
It was,
I guess what I was comparing it to was because like I wouldn't say like one of the things I want to happen. It really had to depend on the comedian, but sitting at the front row of like a comedy show, then when they do crowd work, they'll be like, "Hey, like, what's your name?" And me, I'm just like,
and then you have to,
God.
then you have to like be like, "Oh, I have to be a talkative person. I don't want these people to think I'm lame."
Right. Obviously, the comedian
they're
going to use it. Yeah. It depends. Like if it's someone on the level of like Jimmy Carr, then it's like, okay, this is like an honor to get roasted by you. But I don't want to be where like I give like a lame answer and they're just like, the hell is wrong with you, man? Like, can't you just say that? And everyone laughs at me getting
yeah, exactly.
But in a comedy setting, you have to let it go. Like the people who actually get their butt hurt about it drives me. It's like, why are you at a comedy show? You know that's gonna happen. But it really depends.
Triggered snowflake.
Yeah, I don't want to get into comedic rant, but you know, these people that are like, oh, that's offensive. They're like, dude, why are you here? You paid to be here. Why are you here? Get out. That's like going to like a concert where you don't like the music and you're like, I don't like this. Can you get off the stage? It's like, no, you paid to be here. You could leave. Okay, but that's cool that you try to look for that. Have you ever actually carried someone when they crowd surfed or no? You were like almost there, like, oh god, he's right there.
Yeah. Sometimes people just go over you when you're crowd surfing, so you have to hold them up and let them.
Oh, I was talking about like other strangers or like the actual artists. That's how I was. Jumped in. You're like, yes!
So yeah, sometimes they jump in and crowd surf themselves. The guitarist of Otoboke Beaver did that at the end of the show. She just
be that guy.
She just dove in, and we're just like, all right, cool.
I can't wait to see a video of you one day getting hit in the face with a. Who's the guy that does that?
The what?
Have you seen the video? The guy at the concert that he throws a whole birthday cake at someone's face.
What the fuck?
Yeah, you seen this? I'll send a highlight.
What is this? A Death Grips fan?
I'm blanking out.
That sounds like a terrible experience, to be completely honest. Unless it's the artist themselves doing it, then I guess.
I'm pretty sure it's the artist himself.
Okay, then I guess that's fair.
The wife's here, and I need her dinner. Cut it off. Steve Aoki. Okay.
Oh. Steve Aoki does lots of like weird kind of cringe stuff, to be honest.
Yeah, but this, I think he throws a cake at this wheelchair dude. This dude's in a wheelchair being held up and hits some skirt.
That happens every now and then.
What, getting in the wheelchair?
Yeah, crowd surfing dudes in wheelchairs.
Oh yeah.
That's hardcore.
There it is. Okay. I'm talking stupid. Sorry. Oh, dead on, dude, right in the face. Let's go. I'm sorry. Okay, I actually do have to.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
the most weirdest way to leave because the wifey walked in. I was like, "Oh, you're here."
So
She's
sorry
like,
guys, I can't podcast anymore. My
My
wife said
wife's
so.
home. Yeah.
"Dude, literally, you guys don't understand." So,
I really don't.
No, I don't.
I miss
But,
my wife tales.
Thank you, thank you for the music Rex. I
Yeah.
will come back.
Yeah,
and
no problem.
let you know what I think.
Okay. Well, tell your boyfriend I said hi.
I will. I will.
Cool.
Okay, good talking to you guys. I'll be back, and I'll let you guys.
All right.
Later.
All right. I guess I'll talk about my concert going experiences.
Oh, you did go. Yeah, you did go to some shows this
I went to
year.
a couple of concerts.
Yeah.
Technically, I did a concert overnight. So I'm going to count this because it was last year. It was on December 31st. It was a New Year's Eve concert. I went and saw the 90s hip hop group Diggable Planets. It was pretty cool.
Never heard of them.
Well, you've probably heard of one of the people. They went on to do another hip hop kind of group called Shabazz Palaces. You've probably seen a Fantano review of it.
I want to say that the name it rings a bell.
Yes. I decided to do that. I was on a solo vacation in Portland at the time, so I was like, why don't I just spend my time doing some stuff? And I went to looked up some concerts. One of them was Diggable Plans. I'm like, oh, I'm familiar with that group. Why not? And the tickets were cheap. Why not? Fuck it.
Sure.
I wish I didn't go there. Not because it was a bad concert, but a little bit of context. I was in Seattle the day before, and I went on this Tinder date with this lady, right? And I had a really good time. And I kind of wish that I stayed in Seattle another day just so I could like go on like hang out with this woman again, because like we really hit it off. Not like future wifey type shit, but like I just like I liked being around her. I ended up spending like New Year's Eve at this concert where it was like nothing but couples, and like the vibe is very like you're spending New Year's Eve with someone you like kind of shit. I'm just like,
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. Like New Year's Eve is
Yeah.
romantic, I guess, for people.
it's a big kissy day, yeah. It's a big smooch day.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I was like, oh, yeah, it was really gross. It was like, fuck this.
how dare they?
No, the set was good until I had to wait like 2 hours because like the opening acts took forever. And I didn't really care for the opening acts as much. It wasn't as fun.
Yeah.
The vibes did not quite match the main attraction, if that makes any sense.
Sure.
That just, yeah. So I did that, and that was okay. I saw Flo later on this year with Bacon at
Flow
SoccerCon.
Rida.
I wish that would actually be a fun concert.
I wonder if that guy's even still like active.
He's in commercials or he does music for commercials.
Oh,
What is
okay.
Flo Rida?
Well, good for him. Still having a career.
What's he doing these
Still
days?
finding work.
I mean, he's probably set for life just off Low
Yeah.
and Whistle, and other stupid shit. Oh, he's got a son. That's cool. Okay. Anyway, this year most recently in October I saw Zach Fox in concert.
Yeah.
My guy. That was a very short set, and it was maybe for the best because like he has music. He's been putting out music for years now, but his songs are all fucking short.
Yeah.
So like, it was like half music set and then also half like stand-up comedy interacting with the crowd type of set.
Yeah.
Which is good. Yeah. That's where I made my concert besties that I never saw again. Good stuff. Otherwise, I don't really have... I was going to maybe see Japanese Breakfast this year. They were in Portland for a day.
Oh.
Thought about it. Didn't really... Timing just didn't work out. I was like, oh, what a bummer. But, yeah. There just haven't really been a lot of acts that I really wanted to see this year, because all of them either did concerts last year and they're just not going to do it again. Because Portland's not the most attraction heavy city, I guess.
Sure.
Like, yeah, if this was Seattle or LA, they'd probably be here all the fucking time. But I'm stuck in Portland, which is the middle, so whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really go to that many concerts this year, but I did go to more than I did the year before and the year before that. I only just now started going to concerts again as an adult. Mostly because of COVID. Was a big reason. But yeah, it was a good time.
That actually is another thing that I should have mentioned when talking about my recent concert binge, is that COVID made me miss it.
Yes.
So,
what was the first concert you went to quote unquote post COVID?
it was Poppy.
Like how early? Okay.
It was March 2022.
Wow.
Yeah.
I went as early as December 2021. That was Thundercat. And
Oh,
even
nice.
then, I felt a little uncomfortable being around that many people during COVID. I mean, people were trying to social distance, but like once you get like that many people into the venue, it's really
it's
hard to do
impossible.
that. Yeah. But they checked for like vaccination status and all that stuff, so
Okay.
that's cool at least. But whatever. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna ask you what your favorite songs are this year
Oh.
that came out,
May-
because I know you make a playlist.
So I don't have anything set, so I won't reveal my, top 5 in specific order or anything. It's
Right.
interesting. There usually is a song that like jumps out to me super hard. Like I know when I hear it, like this is the best song of the year.
Right.
That I didn't really get.
You
that
didn't really
this
have
year.
that this year?
No.
Oh, interesting.
But there are certainly lots of like good songs that came out. Of course, I'm going through my candidates. I have 68, but
Wow.
but also I have like multiples for artists, and then when I make the actual list, I cut it down
I'm the
to
same
one part.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, so I counted like I excluded the duplicates, and then it goes down to like 47, I think. So I'm almost at 50, which is my goal, because that's what I had last year. Because last year, like, there was just so much that came out that I was just like always finding stuff. This year,
Yeah, last
this
year
year
and
I
the year
really
before
had to
were big
look
years.
for it though.
Yeah.
But
Hell yeah.
so maybe that has something to do with why I haven't had like a great, number one this year. Like actually,
Yeah, usually I have a solid number one every year.
yeah,
Or like I come across a song, I'm like, oh fuck, this is the best one. Fuck yeah.
Sorry for
And-
getting sidetracked, but I recently did my top 10 songs of the decade so far, like not
Oh,
including this
boy.
year. But I think,
I should do that.
but I think even if I did include this year, I wouldn't have anything in the top 10.
yeah.
So, where should I start? Which song should I make? Because like I said, it's a playlist of 68. So
If you want to just do like your top 5, that's fine.
Millie, that
Or unless you really haven't ordered it yet.
no, I haven't ordered it at all. I haven't even worked on that. So Millie, that band that I mentioned a while ago, my most listened to artist, they had 2. I want to say they had 2 huge bangers, but one of them is not a banger. It is an a cappella song. It like
Oh fuck, that almost sounds like a banger.
It's insane. So it starts off. It's like the first 2 minutes are fully a cappella. It almost sounds like a Christmas carol or like a church hymn. And then
I know exactly what you're talking about.
and then like 2.5 minutes in, like you finally get this piano. It's like, oh, something else is happening, and like the vocals still continue in that choir like style, but then they like add instrumentation to it, and it just continuously gets more intense and dark, and it is awesome. So the song is called Between Two Worlds. There's that. They had another song this year called Sleep Talk Metropolis, which is like a cyberpunk pop rock banger. It's like something you wouldn't really expect this band to do, but they pull it off really, really well, and it's super cool.
If you told me that was Raya and Nami on the EP artwork, I'd believe you.
For what?
For Between Two Worlds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, that was
I
like
see what you're saying.
out of no context for that. But
Oh, actually, that album that I mentioned a while ago, Miracle Milk, they have a like a bonus track somewhere. It's not on Spotify, but it exists somewhere. It's a cover of Comme Sous Sertald, or however you pronounce that song. the song from End of Ava.
Okay. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yes.
So they are they know the vibes. One song that's definitely going to be very high on my favorite songs list is an OP, but from this anime that I have no intention of watching because it looked like garbage. It was called Under Ninja. Yeah. But the song is by a band that I had never heard of before called Kroi, Kroi, and the song is called Hyper, which is this kind of like jazz rap sort of song, like a jazz rap rock song. I'm not entirely sure how to pin it down, but it is just the most fun song ever, and it is awesome and just fantastic. Yeah, it's such a vibe.
I imagine you'll be posting your top songs of the year playlist towards the end of the year.
Yeah, I definitely will.
I'll have to give that
like right now I'm trying to catch up to all the reviews that I said I was going to do on Rate You Music. So catching up to all the stuff that I listened to. It's like 30 albums. It's so taking me so fucking long. But
yeah, there's a lot of stuff I need to get around to. Even from last year, I'm like, oh, because all I did was just listen to like Capri songs. Like that was my go-to album, so I just didn't listen to new stuff.
But I burned through like 10 of them over the last couple of days. So I'm getting through it. So I think like this week I'll really start to get through it.
I might do that this week or something.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a long vacation coming up in December. Maybe I'll just fuck around and find out then.
I'm gonna be off on New Year's. So I'm doing what I did last year, which is or I guess this year, which is I started a vacation around my birthday, which is the 30th, and then I take that first week of January off as well. So I just start the year off on vacation, no work.
I'm taking my vacation starting before Christmas, and I don't get back till like the 10th or 11th of January. Like it's just a long ass vacation.
Yeah.
But I have nothing else to do. Well, I didn't really know what else to do with my time, so I'm like, fuck it, I'll just take a big chunk of time and just not be at work forever, which I will never say no to.
So more songs. I guess some of the songs that would be like top candidates would be from albums that I really like. So Johnny Booth has a couple of songs that would go in there. McKinley Dixon has a couple of songs that are the song Run 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 is insane. That's going to be like probably top 5 for me. Although maybe metal song of the year would be by this band called Hanabi, Hanabie with a period at the end. They're like an idol band, I guess, that also does metal music, but also like hardcore metal. Like they actually have a hardcore vocalist in the band, and then they have another one who's doing like melodic vocals, but sometimes like this cutesy style vocals, and the fusion of it is just it's hilarious. Like it's kind of comical in a way, but it's awesome once you like really get it's not just a gimmick, essentially. Kind of like how baby metal sometimes can run kind of gimmicky. That's the thing. That's like that's like where all this comes from. It's like every Japanese metal band has to have a gimmick because of baby metal. So the song is called "Be the Gal," and it's like Summer Harajuku version or something in English. It's just a great song. It's just like got such a fun instrumental, but then in like the middle of the song it just like cuts out, and the melodic kind of cutesy vocalist just suddenly screams out, "What the fuck!" in this perfect tone, and then they go into a metal breakdown, and it's so sick. It is the funniest thing that has happened this year. So that's probably going to be like top 5 as well somewhere.
Hell yes.
What else? Well, let me just talk about more Japanese stuff. The best VTuber song of all time came out this year. And I know the
best VTuber song?
Yeah.
Admittedly, I know nothing about VTubers.
There's, I don't know. It's hard to...
I almost choose... It's like Five Nights at Freddy's. I choose not to know.
You just get absorbed
like,
into
there are people who are dedicated, like, historians about this.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I create this boundary where I just simply tell them I don't want to know about that.
You know what? You guys have fun. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
So there's a level of degeneracy that comes with VTubers, as is the case with like any anime
I had a feeling
stuff.
there was.
But there's also
Is it just like a lot of horny fans? Is that like...
Yes, but there's also, of course, people who take it seriously, and that's the same with like the talents themselves. There are some who really lean into the degeneracy. There are some who take it a little bit more seriously. So this one actually takes it more. She's one of the more serious ones. So her name's Hoshimachi Suisei, and she's like, so HoloLive, the like biggest VTuber company of sorts. The biggest VTuber talent agency. They at least at first, build themselves as a virtual idol agency. Like that was their goal. They're like, we're going to have Japanese idols, but they're going to be anime characters essentially. And obviously that hasn't exactly gone in the way they've wanted to with all the degeneracy and shit. But if there is one that kind of fits that bill, it would be Suisei, who is kind of like been this do-it-yourself up-and-comer in like she designed her own character and model and all of that, and then joined HoloLive. So she's like an OG VTuber. She did it before it was like I think everyone was doing, and then also she did her own music as well, and so that's actually gotten kind of popular. And her music as herself isn't that interesting, but she recently started collaborating with this composer named Taku Inoue. And now they have this project together called Midnight.
Why does that sound familiar? That name sounds familiar.
I think he's
done
done a little bit of anime stuff, not as much.
That's probably where I know
not to be confused with Taku Iwasaki, who does lots of anime
maybe
soundtrack.
Who I'm thinking
that
of.
Probably is, because I definitely had that confusion as well.
Right.
So anyway, they have this like they've formed this group together called Midnight Grand Orchestra, and they've released a song called Midnight Mission this year, which is just awesome. Like it's kind of like this big band song with this very anime like vocal, but then the chorus will like do this very sudden like shift in rhythm and tone, where it's kind of like the song kind of builds up continuously in all these different ways, and then the song just like snaps in the chorus and it goes into this really dancey beat, this really fun lively melody, and it's just got such fantastic energy. Like every time I hear it, I'm like, how did they make that transition like that? That's just insane. The grooves on this song are fantastic. It's super good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another one that will be high up. That's probably it for like the one-offs that I have, or the notable mentions. There are some others, obviously, but you'll see when I drop the playlist.
Hell yes.
When I drop the list.
When I drop it. Hell fucking yeah. Gosh, I was looking at my favorites, because I don't really have like favorites. I just have the Bex mix, which is like what I like to call them. So for this year, I'm only at 13 songs, which is only 43 minutes, which is kind of short. Usually these round up to about maybe 20, about an hour, maybe hour and 15.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, I just haven't listened to that much new music this year. I've just not found that many songs that came out this year that I've listened to, at least, where I'm like, man, I really fucking love that song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that needs to go on the playlist. Maybe I'm just getting picky. I'm not sure. I have a lot of the Keisha Mina album on this for whatever reason. That album had just a lot of bangers. But, yeah, I guess Forever is maybe my song of the year. But I'm kind of like you, where I'm like, I just don't feel it in my heart that like this is the number one, but it happens to be like my most played song that came out this year. So I guess it just kind of
just by association.
Yeah, well, usually my favorite song is the one that I listen to the most. That kind of happens. It's what happened with like Dragon Ball Durag in 2020.
Yeah,
it happened with Red Room in 2021. What was 2022's? Oh, Light Beamers. That was my song last year. And this year, I'm like, I guess it's Forever. But, yeah. I just love that bounciness to it. I love Amine's flow. It's a admittedly kind of shallow album. Or shallow song. Well, kind of shallow album, but, like, shallow song. But, like, I kind of just don't care. Maybe that's just my mood this year, is, like, I don't need to think too hard about what I'm listening to. I'm just, like, kind of having fun. A good time, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about Trojan Horse. That song just kind of goes hard. Talk to Me Nice. It's a banger. Pink Panthers dropped an album this year. It was full of bangers. Forgot to talk about that earlier. Pink Panther's been a long-time stan for a couple of years. It's nice to see that she's really blown up in the past year or so. She dropped a song called Mosquito earlier that is a banger. It's cute. Zach Fox had a couple songs this year. Dummy, that song's super fun.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. It's good. I kind of forgot that he dropped new music because I wasn't on Twitter, and I usually hear about his new stuff on Twitter.
Yeah.
So that might be. But Olivia Rodrigo dropped an album this year, and there was one song that I liked called Ballad of a Homeschooled Girl. That song rocks. I would imagine that song plays super well in karaoke, maybe. That's my thought. I'm counting this. It's a Linkin Park song. It's not technically a new song, but it's
one of the.
It's an unreleased song that was finally released this year, and I'm like, okay. So I went with Fighting Myself. That sounded like some peak Midora stuff. I like that. Doja Cat had an album this year. Wasn't that great, but it had a few songs I did like. I did like Attention. I liked Balut. But that's kind of it. I don't know. I need to really go through stuff. But yeah. Yeah. I do like the songs that are on my list, but I'm like, almost nothing is like, oh, this is a clear number one thing.
Yeah.
Like I would have last year or the year before. Have you actually ever gone back to like your favorite songs playlist from past years and see if you still like them?
Absolutely.
Okay. Hell yeah. Do you go back and like add stuff to them?
I do a little bit. Yeah. I kind of want to like go back to all of them. Like, so I remember in 2020, I started doing this in 2018. 2018 was like the year I actually like started listening to music, I guess, or I like seeking it out a little bit more. So yeah, so that's kind of where it started, and every year it's gotten bigger and bigger because now I know about more stuff and I've been looking for more stuff. So yeah, so my 2018 and 2019 list I updated in 2020, and then I had my 2021 list in 2022, and then last year I updated the 2021 list. I don't think I could really make many amendments to any of them now. Well, I could definitely change a lot about the 2018 and 19 lists, and maybe some of 2020. But nowadays it's like now I know a lot more, and I'm actually like finding more stuff, so I'm missing out on less. That's always the thing. It's like I find something and I'm like, oh, how did I not know this came out in this year? Like, how did I miss this? But this year, like, I don't really think I found anything that's like that happened in 2022, and I'm like, oh, how the hell how did I not know about this? So yeah.
Hell yeah. Did you have wait, did we talk about favorite albums this year?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Yeah. There were ones I liked, ones I didn't like.
Yeah, there were some good ones.
Yeah.
This was definitely more of a songs year for me, though. Personally. There's not a lot of albums that I was into.
Oh, sure.
Although now that I have been looking around for them, there actually have been a few more that I found. So maybe we'll see. Last year I think I had 36 albums. I'll have to actually check. I definitely had quite a few, and I had 50 songs. I can definitely do 50 songs again, although it probably won't be as strong as a top 50. Like there might be some that I'm going to include, and I'm like, actually I don't know if I like this one all that much, but whatever. Last year that wasn't the case. Last year I had like 60 songs actually, and I cut it down to 50 because I had to stop somewhere.
God, I wish I could go to 50 songs. That's crazy.
You know, I always feel like I'm doing my best, and then I see people who listen to even more stuff, and I'm like, how do you do it?
Where do you get the fucking time?
Exactly. Jesus. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, last year I had 36 albums. Granted, I haven't listened to like most of them since they came out, essentially, so I guess it doesn't matter that much. But they're there. They're memories.
Hell yeah. Do you think it's maybe time to wrap it up?
Yeah. Wrap up our rap podcast.
Jesus. Yeah. Oh my god. 2.5 hours. Oh my gosh. We're crazy. We're insane.
We're so real for this. You're welcome, everybody.
I guess.
Somebody out there
Yeah.
was like, I want you guys to talk about music for 2.5 hours. And we're like, okay. And also, I still have to do that Death Grips episode.
Oh, fuck. Oh, should we, like, announce that?
We did a podcast talking about Death Grips. It'll come out eventually.
It'll come out, yeah.
Whenever I find the time to edit it. This one I'll drop sooner because I'm just not going to edit it.
Right.
It's just out. Here you go.
Hell yes. Well, also Bacon's audio cut out, and that's a whole thing, and yeah.
Well, that'll be
Okay.
fine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's been real. I like music. I like listening to music.
Yeah. If you enjoy listening to music too, tell us what you listen to, and maybe we'll be like, oh, we should have known about this, and we'll listen to it.
Hell yes. Yeah. I like music.
It's cool.
Good stuff.
It's all right.
It's okay. I only spend so much of my time during the day listening to it.
Right?
Yeah. I think I do more music listening than like talking to my coworkers. Like I would rather just do that instead. But yeah, I hope everyone has a good day. Nobody die. Might be cold outside. Don't slip on the concrete. Might be icy. But yeah.
It snowed here last week, and then it melted immediately.
Fuck.
Because that's Midwest weather for you.
Does it actually like not stick there?
No, it stuck. It just got much warmer like the next day.
Oh yeah, that's bipolar.
Yep.
Oregon's kind of the same way. People think of Oregon as like a moist state, and it is. It's a pretty moist state,
It's
but
got
like
the ocean.
well, that and also it rains, but it also just doesn't snow here. It just gets wet. Which, that's probably why we have all these like green trees and general vegetation, because it's just a lot of moisture. But yeah. All right. See you, everybody.
Well, that's it. Bye.